Coming to you live from J.P. Stevens High School here in Edison, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. It is Major League Football and Jersey Sharks playoff football here from Edison this evening as the Jersey Sharks take on the New York Rebels in round one of MLF playoff action. Glad you can join us, everybody, and thanks for waiting. I'm Tom Wilkins with Coach Nick and, of course, Howard. Well, we got Coach still. Anyway, Howard Gaber is taking care of the controls today. And, Nick, we were here 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, Coach. I'll get the name right one way or the other. But, Coach, everyone's cracking up here. I'm trying to get used to the nameology. But, Coach, we saw the Sharks 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And needless to say, it may not have been a pretty game for them, but now it's the playoffs, and everything's going to be turned up a notch against a veteran Rebel team. What are you going to be seeing from the red and blue today?
Listen, these kids are pumped. They came off a very tough game with the Seminoles a couple of weeks ago, but they fared well. I mean, they played well. And considering the circumstances, we had 3 referees and a couple of mishaps here and there. It was a very tough-fought game. It went down to the wire. I think these kids are going to be ready tonight. They're lit. They had a very good warm-up session. Manny's throwing the ball crisply, and they're stacked up. You have 50 guys suited and ready to rock and roll here. So, look, these games are always going to bring out in the playoffs the best of the talent that the league has. All right, and that's what I think we're going to see tonight in round one. It'll be a telling story to see how the rest of the playoffs are going to move after tonight.
Now, you may recall, Coach, I think it was a year or two ago that these same two teams met on a rainy Sunday afternoon in New York City. And it was a close battle as well between the Rebels and the Sharks, or the Rebels getting the Duke in their action. But you have to always worry about the multi-talented quarterback in David Legree. That guy is a special talent in itself, and he has led teams to almost improbable wins, and we've seen this time and time again. What do you think the Sharks will need to do to contain this quarterback?
Listen, it really comes down to the solid defense. They're going to have to remember, from my perspective as a coach, the most important thing you can do as a defense is to disrupt the quarterback's rhythm. And yes, Mr. Legree is one heck of a quarterback. But I'll tell you, Coach Lou remembers that game very well, and I'm sure he's looking to even the score tonight.
Well, thankfully, we are not having the rainy conditions of times past today. Maybe a passing shower in the first quarter, but that's really about it according to what we're seeing for future weather. Kickoff temperature, 56 degrees here in Edison, New Jersey. The Sharks did win the toss. They do refuse to the second half, so the Rebels will receive the ball first. Rebels in their pretty much black and orange uniforms with white numbers and helmets. The Sharks, they're in their home red uniforms with blue helmets and white numerals. You'll see the Sharks go from right to left and the Rebels left to right, and we'll switch sides during the second quarter. They know each other well, and I think we're going to be in for a good one this evening here from Edison, as a couple of returners are standing at about maybe the 15, 16-yard line, waiting for the official to blow his whistle. Now, keep in mind, we have 4 officials for this playoff game, so we'll do the best we can, what we got, and as always, Coach, we'll call it the way that we can do our best with.
Call it like we see it. That's good.
That's the only way to go.
And as an old guy, I'm not worried about the rain because, we're in a booth over here, so I could, we're in good shape. So.
Well, I'm not. Well, just remember, Coach, you're only as young as you feel. You have to kind of remember that.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Methuselah is what they call me now.
All right, here we go. Playoff game underway, and the Rebels will take it at about the 16-yard line. And a burst of speed to about the 40. Look at this. He's running to midfield to the 40. And look at him hurdle over everybody. Number 4 takes it all the way into Sharks territory. We'll see where they spot the football. But that was an incredible return. And that might have been, and I'm trying to figure who it was, but whoever it is, ends up getting to the 36 of the Sharks. So what a gift-wrap opening possession for David Legree and company. Obviously, the Rebels know what to do on special teams for such a speedy guy like that.
Well, he took that hole, he busted it right the middle, he saw the opening and took it, and then broke out to the sideline to his side of the field. A very good run, a very intelligent run, as a matter of fact.
And obviously, when you have that incredible talent, and they always say speed kills. Jimmy Johnson's been saying that for 30 years, and I'll have to say, when you have players that fast, I mean, you obviously cannot teach speed, and it doesn't matter what position it is.
Nope, that's correct. You don't teach speed and size.
All right, so Legree's opening drive is from the Sharks' 36-yard line. Now, they usually go in a 4-wide pro set, and here they're going to stack up receivers on the right.
No. They're in a spread stack.
Well, they're lying interestingly as number 4 is right in front on the right side. Legree operates for a shotgun back to the right, making sure everyone's lined up for 1st and 10 from the Shark 36. And it's a handoff busting up the left side of the line to about the 34, maybe the 33. So only a couple yards on the play. So needless to say, the Sharks defense was ready for that opening play. Definitely a run-pass option. We're going to be seeing a lot of that from Legree today. I believe that would be, if it says 26, we have Antoine Earl as the running back here. We're only going by information we have, but it is 2nd and 8, and they're going to spot that one just shy of the 34-yard line, so evidently forward progress was stopped just prior to the push.
Well, there certainly was a gang tackle on that one.
Now, a lot of Sharks kind of dove in there. And now they're going to line up the same formation on 2nd and 8. Right outside the 34-yard line. Now Legree audibilizes, trying to check with the line, making sure everyone's in the right position here. Now I thought he was going to go under center, but now he goes back to his typical shotgun stance. Say that 3 times fast. Legree awaits the snap. He's standing at the 40. Takes. Now he's going to run it again. And the Sharks are ready for him again as maybe a yard, if that, to the 33-yard line. So so that was 28. That would be Deshaun Hannibal Ray, according to what we have. And it ends up being a 3rd and looks like 3rd and 8. Didn't get anything on the play. So
no, they got stacked up pretty good on the left side. The right side of the defensive line came up hard. The linebackers played up close. And, hey, look, they're ready to play the run. They played the run very well 2 weeks ago. And it looks like they're geared up to do the same thing tonight. So I think they're going to try to put Dave in a position where he's got to throw the ball.
You know, Coach, I kind of was a little perplexed. I mean, that was basically the same play twice in a row. And the first time got you 2 yards. The second time, basically nothing. So now you have a 3rd and 8 from the 34-yard line. And as you just mentioned, Legree's probably going to have to throw the ball. But then again, Legree can run too, so you got to watch out. He is just as lethal with his legs as he is with his arms, so let's keep an eye on him. So 3rd and 8 from the 34 of the Sharks after the long kickoff return opened the game. Legree in a shotgun formation. Once again, same formation as before the previous 2 times. He'll take it. This time he's back to pass. Has time. Looks. He's going to fire it. And it is caught. Beautifully done. Crossing the 20. Over to the 10 and forced out of bounds. Nicely caught. Christian Europe out of South Carolina State, I believe it was. He's able to get inside the 10 to about the 5. And we'll double check that. I know number 5 caught it. Oh, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So obviously another pair of eyes notified that for me. But still, that's why they have spotters, and I can't do everything at once to analyze. But anyway, a big gain on the play at 23, and into the red zone go the Rebels 1st and 10 from the Sharks' 11-yard line. This would probably be an opportunity to try the run again, but one never knows. Let's see how Legree does, as, again, same formation as before. Legree awaits a shotgun snap. And a handoff to Thompson. Thompson inside the 10, and I'll probably give him to about the 8. And Coach, what exactly are they doing on that play? Obviously, he took it center right. We see something different here.
Well, that actually mirrored what looks like a veer inside, but you had 8 in the box. The Sharks had 8 in the box. They had basically playing cover 1, which is man-to-man, and 1 deep safety. So they loaded up the box looking for the run, and that kind of opens itself up to play action. But let's see what's going to go on. They're going to try to establish this run game early in the game so that they can get the pass when they need it, like they did 2 plays ago when they busted up under the cover 2. He broke a dig route and made a beautiful catch.
All right,
Let's see where they're going to go now.
We'll see exactly what happens on 2nd and 7 from the 8-yard line. They can still get a first down without scoring. And it's going to be Legree keeping it, and the Sharks saw it, and it ends up being maybe a 2-yard loss. Good tackle on the play by James Bethea, the defensive end. He was able to bust through, force a loss on the play. And as we said, Coach, I mean, so far the Sharks have done well, but now again, you got 3rd and 9. How are you going to stop that?
Well, they're not going to run. I mean, this is a contest of wills right now from both front the line, the offensive and defensive line. They're in a struggle of wills right now, and the Sharks have basically said no 4 times to the run. So, and that includes David trying to get one himself. So my guess is they'll either go play action, they'll throw the ball, try to get into the end zone.
Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, 4 carries for 4 total yards. I mean, it's only 1 yard a carry, so the Sharks have been doing that. But how will they do on the pass? They change it up here on 3rd and 9 as Legree is back. Late pressure, firing pass caught at about or is it? No, it's incomplete. It is incomplete. It looked like it's in the direction of Europe, but he couldn't come. I'm sorry, that was a number 6, Ty Battle, who tried to come through with it but couldn't bring his hands in. So it forces a 4th down. Now, one thing I'm not sure of is if the Rebels have a kicker. If they don't, they obviously are going to go for it on 4th and 9. What do you see, Coach?
I see them going for it, but I'll tell you what happened on that pass play. The kid pretty much had the ball, but that hit that got laid on him jolted that thing free. So it was a good, clean hit. Otherwise, they'd have had that ball down on the 4-yard line.
So here we go on 4th and 9 from about the 10. This time to back to the left of Legree, spreading everything out here, making sure everyone's in the right position as he always
Keep your eyes
does.
on number 4.
Yeah, he's a slot receiver to the right on this play. 4th and 9, Legree back, looking, going to take a shot. It's a one-hopper, incomplete. And there are no flags, and the Jersey Sharks defense did its job. They hold the Rebels on downs. The only bad thing is they get the ball from their own 10-yard line, but at least they get the ball 1st and 10.
Well, you know what I say? I'll say it time and time again because it really rings true. Football is about momentum and mistakes and momentum and how each of those things affect the play of the game. And we just saw that right now. We had a little mistake. Ball was a little wide and low. And the momentum changed. They were backed up to their own end zone, and now they got the ball, and they're going to push down and try to get that 90-yard drive going.
By the way,
great defensive stand.
Just to let you know that Jersey Sharks football is presented by the Edison Township Police and Fire Company. You can call them for their services at 732-287-0900. Again, 732-287-0900. Again, the Edison Township Police and Fire Company. So for the Jersey Sharks, led, of course, by Emmanuel Cabasa, their veteran quarterback. We'll see what tricks they have up their sleeve as they start from around the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. In a shotgun, and they're going to go a swing pass, breaking through a tackle and gaining some yardage, crossing to the 20-yard line. Close to a 1st down, depending on the spot. And I believe that was a Shamar Serrier, who we haven't called in a very long time, but he made a nice grab. So Serrier with a nice job on the play, and ends up, I think I'm going to see where they spot the ball. Probably about the 20-yard line. He's a yard short of a 1st down, so it'll be 2nd and a yard. It took a little while to figure out where the sticks were going to be, but you can almost imagine we would see a running play here. Let's see what Cabasa does on 2nd and 1 from the 20-yard line. Exactly a run. Juking to the left side and swimming his way to a 1st down to the 25-yard line. That is Stephen Jones Jr., the 6'1", 225 running back. Gets it through and moves the chains, Coach.
Yep, they moved the chains. Well, that pass play that started it off was a very well executed, what we used to call that as a rocket screen. They had a triple stack tight with a wide receiver on the right. All right, the Z receiver created that one-on-one. I expect to see them come this way again and then try to create an isolation on the opposite side of the field and take the ball downtown.
Well, I actually, on that play, Coach, it almost looked like the receiver was going to lose some yardage because it looked like it was so far behind the line of scrimmage. But that missed tackle certainly helped propel the Jets for the receiver. So, well, let's see what they do on 1st and 10. They will play fake, same play, and the Rebels read it. So we were talking about the play, and this time it was Serrier who was with the catch, and unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. It turned out to be a loss on the play. And Jamal Schulters, the veteran defender, that was a heck of a hit.
That was a great hit, and I said that they would come back to it, but if you looked on the other side of the field, the isolation was created. There was a one-on-one with the Z receiver on the far right side, and I think they want to go ahead and run this thing a couple of times and then go back to the other side when nobody's thinking about it.
And I think the Rebels basically said, fool me once. But in any case, it ends up being a loss of 5. And it's 2nd and 15. Actually, I'm going to say a loss of 4. 2nd and 14 as the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Cabasa in the shotgun, taking the snap, play fake, and a screen. Pass is caught, and getting to about the 25, 28-yard line. That was 26 who grabbed it, as he ends up getting to about the 28-yard line. Ends up being a game 7. We have Melissa's Paul Ioannidis. Ioannidis, okay. So he gets back into, gets some positive yards there, a gain of 8, but still a little ways to go. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 29. What do you expect the Sharks to do, Coach?
I expect them to throw the ball. and to try to start exploiting the hook-to-curl zones. They've tried the outside. Now they're going to come back inside, test the linebackers. That would be my guess. But, you never want to second-guess coaches.
Well, most on YouTube and the HSG Network might agree, but let's see what transpires here. 3rd and 6 on the 29-yard line as Cabasa sends a man in motion, back the pass. He is crunched as he threw the football, incomplete. I mean, that would be Kenneth Frederick, who came in basically untouched and hit Cabasa right as he threw the ball, forces the incompletion. And even though the Sharks got out of dangerous territory, they get a first down, but now will have to punt.
Now, Manny got forced into throwing. He didn't want to go in that direction, but listen, he did the smart thing. He got rid of the ball, because if he had gotten popped with it, it might have shook it loose. He got rid of the ball and threw it to the safest, closest receiver. So, all right, so we have a feeling out process by both offenses now, and we're going to see who's going to give a little, who's going to take a little, and where this is going to go. Unfortunately, we got a walk-off here on a penalty.
Actually, the official ruled it a backwards pass, so it is technically ruled a fumble, so it ends up going out at the point of where it went out of bounds. So that was not an incompletion. It's a big loss, and it will be a punt now for the Sharks, who take a low snap and a nice punt. Number 4 waits for it and grabs it about the 41. Now starts going the right way, reverses gears, and is not going anywhere. The special teams did a great job swarming around number 4. And he ends up, that was number 8, which would be Derek Carden on special teams, making a very nice tackle, forcing a minus 4-yard return. And so the Rebels will begin again 1st and 10 from their own 37. Each team a first down, but no points on the board yet. Now, Coach, you look at the Sharks have done very well, especially with the run on defense. Do you see the Rebels making a few adjustments, or do you have a couple of early plays up their sleeve they like to try?
You know what? A couple of years ago, I probably could have answered that. I watched the Rebels a little bit more. I haven't seen them this year yet, but listen, when they come out, they're going to try to execute their game plan. And I think they're going to try to stick to that. Now, if they find out that they're getting stifled on the run, you're going to start to see David's going to put the ball in the air a lot more than they might have wanted to this early in the game. Well, this will tell right here. They're coming out in a regular pro set shotgun.
Which is usually what they do anyway.
The twins right, yep.
1st and 10 from the 37, and it's going to be a quick pass caught and getting to maybe about the 40-yard line, about 3-yard pickup. So only 3 yards on the play. And I can easily make the comparison, David will agree, to almost Lamar Jackson. Lamar can carry his team. And David can do basically the same thing. He's just been around a longer time, but at the same time, I mean, especially if the Rebels are in trouble situations, a big play, and Legree's right there, whether it be for passing the ball or running the ball. He can do pretty much everything.
Well, look what he has done. Okay, what both quarterbacks have done is tried to get the ball short, almost like a lateral to their athletes to get downfield. Now, number 4 got his hands on the ball that time, but he was contained. So it's going to be, again, a test of wills here right up front.
Let's see what happens on 2nd and 7 from the 40-yard line. A low snap, a Legree back. Now he's dancing, in trouble, has to throw it. And the pass is caught, play still alive, and an alert play by number 4 getting out of bounds at the 48-yard line. I mean, that was a very quick strike to number 4, who was like on one knee, but keep in mind nobody touched him, so the play's still alive. He gets out of bounds, picks up 8, and moves the chains for the Rebels. I'll tell you, they are alert, especially when you have critical situations like that.
Well, David had to get rid of the ball. That was a panic last second. Get the ball off, and he did a great job doing it. Number 4 scooped it and picked up some positive yards. But you can see where the game is being controlled right up front, both lines. And the Rebels' lines got tested real hard that time, put David under a lot of pressure.
They actually fell 2 yards short, so it's 3rd and 2 from the 46. Legree in a shotgun. Now he's talking to his back, making sure everything is all set. And you could see how quickly he lets the ball go once he gets it. Let's see what happens on this low snap. A handoff up the middle, and Thompson plows his way into Sharks territory to 49, gains 5 and a first down. I guess the two of them were on the same page as to what play was going to be run and where, and that's exactly what the Rebels did there to move the chains.
Yep, they got 3 yards, picked up the first down. Very begrudging yards, I say. Again, the trenches are going to win this game tonight.
I totally agree. Usually the two biggest differences in a game are the battle of the lines, offense versus defense lines, and the second, of course, turnovers. But we haven't had anything yet here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Shark 49-yard line as Legree. Once again, a shotgun snap. He'll take it under a little pressure, and that pass is caught very nicely at the 42-yard line for a gain of 7. I think that was Europe who caught it. So a gain of 7 there, but the Sharks are right there. And I'll tell you, look how quickly Legree lets go of the ball and how fast he throws. I mean, it's hard to follow. I mean, it's almost like Gratterolf and the Dodgers and how quickly he throws the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, the test is how well the receivers are holding on to the ball, because he's zipping them in, and they're not long passes, talking about 7-8 yard passes, and these guys got some very good hands. Nobody has made any kind of an irrational attempt at the ball. They got good hands, and he knows it, and he's putting the juice on it.
2nd and 3, we'll say, from the 42-yard line. Once again, the 4 receivers set. Sharks showing blitz. And Legree's going to call his number and get to the 40. And they're going to say down there, close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it. It'll be somewhere around the 39-yard line. They may bring the chain gang there for a measurement, depending on where the ball's spotted. So
they're going to spot it just about half a foot, maybe a foot from the first down. Just past, just inside the 39 would be a first down. So it's about
3rd and less than a yard, I would
suspect. Less than a yard, about 2 feet. 3rd and about 2 feet.
Well, that's less than a yard last time I checked.
Well, how much less than a yard is it exactly?
I don't know, but anyway.
1/3. All right.
All right. Well, I wasn't good at geometry either, but anyway.
Wait a minute.
3rd and about a
math.
yard from the 39-yard line. Let's see what Legree does this time. Same set.
I'll be going
Thompson
straight
to the right, looks like.
North and south.
Well, that's what you have to do, especially in plays like this.
And that's what he's doing.
Will call his number, easy first down, gets his way to about the 37-yard line, gets a gain of 2. So as they move the chains, Rebels get a first down. We remind you, Jersey Sharks football presented by Edison Heating and Cooling. At Edison Heating and Cooling, we're able to provide you with seasoned technicians that have been expertly trained to inspect and repair any HVAC system in the Edison area. You can get more information from them by calling 732-372-4957 and also email them info@edisonhvac.com. Again, that's for Edison Heating and Cooling. So back to action here. 1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Shark 37-yard line. Second possession of this game for David Legree and company as he's audibilizing, making sure everyone's in position. This time they'll triple the far side. Still a 4-receiver set. Thompson to his right. Legree will take it, back to pass, looking, zings it left, nice grab, and rolling his way to about, we'll say the 25-yard line. That's going to be a first down, and looks like 23 will grab that, and again, the Rebels move to change. And once again, Legree, that ball flies fast out of his hands.
Well, that's it. He's throwing rockets. But listen, look at where they're testing now, which is what I suggested that the Sharks may try to do on the next possession. Is now they're attacking the hook to curl zone, about 8 to 10 off the line of scrimmage, come back to the quarterback, find the open window, and he knows where they're going to be. And that's a very ball control type of a passing offense that they're working through now. So that's the next evolution up from a run game, and that's where they're going to try to exploit right now.
And now whistles blow. Are we at quarter time already? Yes, we are. So we'll switch sides as we take a breather after one. Sharks and Rebels no score in this first round MLF playoff game. We'll come back with quarter number 2 right after this.
Is your indoor air working properly? Edison Heating and Cooling is your neighborhood's trusted professional since 1987. Just give a call and a trained, comforted
I think we'll make it.
do a full inspection and discuss your options from repair to upgrading to a new high-efficiency system that could save you up to 60% of your energy bill. Our fully trained technicians install and service all systems, including premier carrier products for both residential and commercial customers. All day, every day, count on Edison Heating and Cooling.
Okay, back here at J.B. Stevens High School here in Edison. I'm Tom Wilkes, along with Coach Nick, and of course Howard Gaber taking care of the controls as we're about to start quarter number 2. No score between the Rebels and the Jersey Sharks, but for the second time already, the Rebels are in a striking position. They got as far as the 8-yard line, their opening drive, but then were sent back by a couple yards, and then back-to-back incompletions on 3rd and 4th downs prevented the Rebels from scoring. So good Jersey Shark defense. They're going to have to be called again to see if they can pull off an encore here. So let's see what Legree does. Again, they'll triple the left side on a 4-receiver set. 1st and 10 from the Shark 25. Legree with a run-pass option, and it looks like, I think it's Thompson who'll only get about a yard to the 24-yard line. You think the Sharks are ready for that, Coach?
I think they were. I think they're being very stingy, and they're seeing where they want to go here, where the Rebels are trying to penetrate.
That would be Deshaun Hannibal-Ray, by the way, on the carry from what we have. So they're going to give him a yard, yes, to the 24-yard line. That makes it 2nd and 9 for the Rebels, who, like I said, this is a very schooled team, and I've seen them a number of times where really one big play turns everything around, puts everything in their favor, especially if they get into a very dicey situation, which they've been known to do a number of times, but they find their way out because they're that well veteran coached and schooled of a team. Here's Legree back to pass on 2nd down, and that goes in and out of the hands, incomplete. I mean, that was a rifle shot up the middle. I can't see who it was intended for.
No, it was number 6. Number 6.
That would be Ty Battle, the intended receiver, and it forces a 3rd and 9. So right now the Sharks, familiar territory, wouldn't you think, Coach?
Well, they're chipping away, and it's very familiar to the team, but they're chipping away here, hitting again, as I said, the hook to curl zones, the short pass routes. They're going to try to punch the middle. They're going to continue to test that defensive line. They're content with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards because, you know what? Face first downs, and that's what they care about.
And here we have a 3rd and 9 from the Shark 24 for the Rebels. Let's see how they line up this time. This time the triple will be on the right side. Back to the left for David Legree in a shotgun. Showing blitz, takes a snap to coming on the right. Legree chase, fires, too high, incomplete. They went toward the direction of Christian Europe, but the pressure on the right side of the line made Legree throw in a little panic, forcing the incompletion and forcing a 4th and 9. And I don't suspect they're going to be coming out and punting either, Coach. So here we go again, like it was in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So what
do
you think the Rebels are going to draw up here on 4th and 9?
I think they're going to go back to the play that they had success with on their first passing route. The Sharks are back in a cover 2, which means that they're going to be vulnerable in the middle of the field. However, the Rebels are very lucky they didn't get called for a holding. The guy actually reached out and grabbed the shirt of one of the rushers that came in hard on put the pressure on the quarterback. I think that they're going to probably, at this situation with 9 yards to go, they've got to get down. They got to get downfield a little bit, and I'd watch the middle of the field for some either dig routes or skinny post routes, and that's where the defense would be most vulnerable.
They probably would refuse the penalty if there was one anyway, but here we have 4th and 9 from the 24-yard line. Let's see what Legree does. He takes it, looking, takes a shot, and did it fall? It fell incomplete. It looked like for a second the Rebel receiver had it, but it ended up skimming the ground, so the Sharks do it again twice. And it was again intended for Battle. He couldn't come up with it. And speaking of Battle, the Sharks defense have won 2 battles in the close to the red zone already. So they'll get the ball back on downs, and Cabasa goes back to work.
Right, very good defensive coverage.
And while we look at that last play again, and Coach, you can see exactly what happened on that 4th down play.
Well, as before they even snapped the ball, what they did was get the receiver right past the 1st down marker. He knows where he is. See that? The delay, and boom. He hit him right where he's supposed to be. Again, hooked the curl zone. He curled outside. The other 2 receivers broke outside. Defenders went with them and left him clear. It was a very intelligent call.
But the Sharks were able to stand tall on it, and it's 1st and 10 as Cabasa back to work in between split backs and a shotgun, 3 wide slot right from the 24. And it's going to be a handoff. Bouncing off one tackle. It's going to get a couple of yards. Jones crossing the 30, and we'll see where they spot the football down at the 32-yard line. Stephen Jones Jr., a gain of 8 on the play, and a good start to the second drive for the Sharks.
Very good. That's the first time they tried to get the edge, and they actually made it instead of putting a punch in the middle. So it looks like the Sharks are going to mix it up a little bit more now.
And I would think they probably would too, but again, you're looking at the second quarter. There's no score. You still have time to feel each other out to see, okay, where can we get the mismatches? Where can we find success? I mean, there's so many questions still yet to be answered, and there's still a lot of football to be played. So it'll be 2nd and 2 from the 32-yard line. Cabasa in a shotgun once again. He'll take another handoff. That's a 1st down, crossing to the 36-yard line. And that's Jones again. I don't think the Rebels are keeping up with this Jones running back because he just moved the chains. Gains another 4 yards on the play.
Listen, they're mixing it up nicely on the offense. They have their set formations. Remember, you can run the same play out of 5, 10, 15, 20 different formations if you're going to confuse the defense. And they're mixing it up a little bit now and then opening it up a little bit, going outside, coming back inside. That's the way to call a football game on offense.
Well, they're going to go pro set here like the Rebels almost always do. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Cabasa in the shotgun, back to the left. He's looking. He's going to throw a deep one. Carnan midfield, breaking out of tackle. There goes Carnan to the 40 and is smacked at the 36-yard line. A huge game. Schulters with a hard hit, but a 28-yard pickup. What a great route run by Carden.
What I was saying earlier in the game, that they were going to look down to those short passes to the flat to set up what they were going to come back with. He looked right at the receiver.
Why don't you look at the replay and we'll show it.
He looked at the back, okay. He gave him a look, and then he went down across the middle. Now look at what the Rebels are in a cover 2, and what's open, the middle of the field. What does number 8 do? Exploits it, okay. That's what I meant earlier when I said they're going to go to the well, to the outside a couple of times to set something like that up. And they did. And what do we got? 30-yard gain.
Beautifully done by the Sharks there, and a great job by Shoulders on the tackle. That was a hard hit. So I was going to say, well, Howard able to get that replay up here. On 1st and 10, Cabasa laterals to Jones. Jones will break out and clear to about the 31, but I think a flag came down at the end of the play. Let's see what this is about. So it may have been a block in the back afterwards, because remember, it was a lateral to Jones, and then the forward progress started. I have a feeling that's going to be on the Sharks, and it's going to be called holding. So tough break on the part of the Sharks, and you know very well, Coach. You have all these positives, and then a holding penalty happens.
Mistakes and momentum. I keep saying it. Probably going to get tired of hearing it like a broken record, but it's
last
it's
three
a true
games.
record.
Last 3 games has been my sleep.
Oh my goodness, yeah, right.
Hey, that's what happens when you finally play off one another when it comes to.
You can't sleep in this business, Tommy.
Well, that's where you get the blindside block.
Yeah.
But it is a 10-yard penalty, and makes it now 1st and 20. Sharks still in plus territory at the Rebel 46-yard line, but that's going to change a few things now.
Well, they're in spread on first, so that's an interesting look.
Well, they do that a lot as well. Cabasa in the shotgun, standing just side midfield, and everybody jumped. And they're going to. So if it's on the Rebels, which it is, it's definitely an encroachment call. So basically about 3 or 4 jumped offside, probably because of the hard count Cabasa gave, and they'll move that now to the 41-yard line. So, Coach, now it all turns out just like it were a false start on 1st and 10 if you want to even things out.
Everything evens out in the end, Tom. And, I think so far for 2 quarters we've had 2 penalties. That's not bad. We're getting a nice, clean, hard-hitting game, and I don't think at this level you can ask for anything more than that. That's gold in itself.
Well, what about who has the advantage in a situation like this?
Right, in this situation right here, the momentum is with the offense. They made a big play. They lost some yards on a penalty. They regained some, so it's a slight momentum shift, but I think they have the advantage now.
Well, let's find out. 1st and 15 now from the 41 following the neutral zone foul. Cabasa back, pressured, try to get it to Jones, incomplete. And I'm pretty sure he had to rush to throw because that looked to be like a corner blitz coming off of Cabasa, and he had to hurry that throw.
But see, this is what they've done.
Yeah. I tell you what, why don't we show you that last play, and we'll show you exactly what happened here. So let's take a look at what happened here on that last play. And keep your eye especially on the far side where the pressure's coming. Yeah, right there, 27 was just putting a ton of pressure. That would have to be Deshaun Harris.
These are designed checkdowns. Safety valves is what we used to call them back in the day, where the running back is in a position to get the ball when the quarterback has a hard rush or can't see downfield. So he was trying to check down. See now that he's covered him. Now he's come out of the backfield, and that has gained him a couple of yards.
Yes, that's Serie who was able to make that grab. Gets to about the 36, but now they're back to the original line of gain, but it's 3rd, and we're going to say 11. They're going to spot the 37, so a gain of 4 on that Serie catch. So, Nick, 3rd and long, you just had a penalty go against you. It backed you up. Now you're 3rd and long. What do you call here?
I'm on the 36-yard line.
Let's say 37, so you're 3rd and 11.
What they're going to call is not what I would call. I would call an inside slip screen. This is in the green zone almost, a great place to call that. But, listen, they got to cover 1 now in that secondary. I think they're going to try to hit the outside corners with a little depth, probably about 15, 18-yard pass plays. Now they got to watch and protect Manny on this because they've been getting in on him.
Well, they triple the left side here on 3rd and 11. Cabasa goes that way. Pass is caught, and it's going to be a 1st down. How about that? Great play. And Carden was able to convert on a 3rd and 11, gain 17, and now they're on the edge of the red zone for a 1st down, except we have a flag down at the 41. And something tells me it's going to be holding on the Sharks and another killer penalty.
Well, I think they're trying to slow down that hard rush that's been coming on. They've been throwing a couple of blitzers off the edge, and, it's going to happen.
Well, the Sharks are already heading backwards, and it would be 10 yards from the spot. So we'll see where the officials play, and that's going to force. They have it started at, I guess, the 40. Maybe the penalty happened at 30, but no. They're going to send it all the way back to the 47, so it is a line of scrimmage foul, and it now makes it 3rd and 21. So a major flip in the field there, thanks on that holding foul. And it's hard to design a 3rd and 21 play, but the Sharks are going to have to find a way to do so.
Look what the Rebels have now. They got a 3-man front with a roll-up safety on number 44, who's probably coming hard. So they're going to probably try to take the ball downtown a little bit.
Well, let's see what Cabasa does. He'll throw to Syria. He'll look for a couple blocks. He'll slip to about the 35, 30, and come pretty close. He'll get to the 29-yard line. He needed 21. He got 18. So 4th and 3, and I would suspect, Coach, you'd go for it on 4th and 3, wouldn't you think?
Well, from this position, yeah. Otherwise, he's got a 48 or 49-yard field goal, and I don't know that they're ready for that right now.
And I think the Jersey Sharks want to talk it over, and they will. So we'll take a timeout along with them here in the second quarter. With the Sharks and Rebels no score, we'll come back in a moment. While the Sharks are in the huddle, we remind you this game is being presented by Lombardi and Lombardi Attorneys. When legal challenges present themselves, they can have a tremendous impact on your life. The uncertainty and stress you're understandably feeling can cause pervasive difficulties, which can certainly change courses for you and so many other family members. So if you're looking for legal counseling, check out Lombardi and Lombardi Attorneys, located at 1862 Oak Tree Road in Edison. You can call them 732-906-1500. All right. After the Sharks use their first timeout of the half, it is 4th and 3 from the 29 of the Rebels. Let's see if the timeout works. Here's a triple to the left side and a 4-receiver set. Cabasa will fire, and the pass incomplete. They went for Carden. He couldn't quite take care of business. He was right at the stripe, but it just bounced in and out of his breadbasket, and the Sharks turn the ball over on downs. We have had 3 turnovers on downs combined between the two teams, and now the Rebels will have it at their own 29.
Well, we're seeing that typical seesaw battle that we would see in the playoffs.
Well, before that, why don't we check about what happened here on that last play?
Okay, again, he tried to hit the middle underneath in the hook curl zone. The ball was there, but a little disrupted. I think one of the D-backs actually got his right arm on the receiver's hand as he touched the ball.
And it probably was timed very well, too.
It was timed very well. He was right there. I would have pressed that a little bit more and waited another half second to throw that ball.
All right, so the Rebels back in action at their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10. And this time they'll go 4 receivers. They'll triple the left side here. Back to the left of Legree. Making sure that everyone's in the right position. The receivers on the left are close together here. Low snap, but they're going to hand it off, and a dive play to Thompson will get himself to about the 33-yard line. So a gain of 4 on the play. They look like they were showing a good pass play there, but they chose to run and they went on a dive play, and that's actually not a bad first down call, Coach.
Well, it's pretty standard for what they've been doing. They gained about maybe 3 yards on that. They continue to press, and I guess if they're satisfied with 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 8, which creates different calls for the offense, it's hard to say. I'd like to see 4.5 yards on first down maybe and press it to 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Gives the quarterback and the offensive coordinator a lot more options to call going forward. But let's see where they're going to go. They've been consistent every drive.
Same formation as before, 2nd and probably about 6.5. Then let's see what Legree does here. Again, the same formation. As they hand it off to Thompson, they go run pass option here and trying to push his way out. and they're going to spot the ball at about maybe the 39-yard line. They might give him the 40. If that's so, it's going to be a first down and a nice 7-yard pickup. That was a power move by that offensive line, making sure Thompson was able to snooze his way past the chains, and he did exactly that.
Yeah, straight up design call. There was no option on that at all. They knew where they wanted to go, but they knew that they had to get them blocking down at the second level, which they haven't been doing. So that time they were able to get it, and actually the whole pile moved an extra 3 or 4 yards to get the first down. Good play on both sides of the ball.
And the Rebels are usually very smart in the way their play calling is, especially within the game situations and trying to figure out the opponents. And needless to say, this is why they're so experienced and very playoff tested. Legree in the shotgun. They even the sets up here on 1st and 10. Back to pass. Looking. He's being chased and will fire it. Pass is caught, but it's not going to be for much. In fact, it's going to be for about a 4-yard loss at the 36-yard line. A great tackle on the part of Deshaun Lewis, who was able to hold the receiver down. A 4-yard loss. And Legree was going further back. They tried to go on the right post, and it didn't quite work out. I mean, give credit to the Shark defense. What happened there, Coach?
Pressure is what happened. And what's going on here is what you're not seeing. Well, a lot of people are not seeing. Yes, there was pressure there, but these check down passes right here are because no one's open downfield. Okay, so what we're seeing here is some seriously good coverage. Both defenses are playing very good coverage downfield. They're giving up the short, the 6 to 8 in the hook to curl zones, which is expected in a zone defense, especially in cover 2 or cover 3. But when you see the quarterback have to rush to get the ball away like that, it's either pressure or nobody's open.
All right, once again, they'll triple to the left side on 2nd and 15 as Legree is back to pass, has a little more time. Now he's going to run, trying to get out of pressure, and away he goes. And he'll dive his way to about the 38. I mean, he was able to get through a couple of tackles to get some positive yards, but not too much. And good tackle on the part of Kelly Gallimore, who was able to bring him down, and that forces a 3rd and probably 11. So here we go again where the Rebels face 3rd and long, and the problem is with it, I mean, I was suggested that it was a sack, but it was a gain of 4, so I don't know if I've ever heard it was a sack before. That's okay.
The difference is that there were people open downtown on that play, except that the pressure was so heavy. So, this is a real interesting chess match between these two defenses. I usually like to see wide open offense, but these defenses are showing me something tonight.
Let's see if the Sharks can show something again on 3rd and just about 10. From outside the 40, Legree in the shotgun will take it. He goes back, has a lot of time this time. Now he dances, moonwalks back. You want to do a DoorDash order, you can. He'll throw to the right, and the pass knocked away, incomplete. That was intended for 23, and again, Gallimore knocked it away, so forcing the incompletion. I believe the Rebels are going to punt for the 2nd time in this game, or at least the 1st time in this game. I forgot it was the Sharks that had the only punt in this game. So what do you think about the pressure on that one, Coach?
Listen, 23 broke on his original cut. He came from the left side. His original cut, all right, before he wound up on the other side of the field, he was wide open. But the pressure was such that David wasn't able to see him, okay? And that time, everybody downfield was covered.
Christian Fife was the one, I believe the Christian Fife is the kicker for the Rebels. I was thinking for a second Fife might be the receiver.
No, I was thinking Barney Fife. Andy Griffith. Come on.
Well, we'll put the drums away and we'll have the punt for the Rebels as Fife stands at about the 30-yard line, takes a snap, and it's a high punt. And will it be taken? Yes, it will. About the 21-yard line, a little stiff arm. And getting about the 27-yard line, Andre White, the one who brings it back. And that's where the Jersey Sharks will start from their own 27-yard line. Why don't we take a look at that long 3rd down play, which I think you're going to get a ton of description on. So what happened here in that 3rd down play?
Watch 23. Watch what he does, okay? Watch him here. Boom. Open right in here. Right there. Right there. See? He was open right here. David didn't see him. He continued along the line with the pattern to keep the play alive, and then Dave finally threw downtown to him. But if you saw him on the delay when he broke inside, wide open, just the QB was not able to get him in his window.
That's possible. Sometimes he breaks open and the quarterback doesn't necessarily see it at that exact instant. And sometimes it'll happen, but you can try and go back later in the play, and the Sharks were level to it.
Football's a game of inches.
I would say
That may be cliche, but cliches are true. That's why they're cliches.
Well,
and that couple of inches and that half of a second changes the entire complexion of the play.
So does an index card. First and
Only
10
if you're a librarian.
From the 27-yard line. Let's see what Cabasa does as he'll take the shotgun snap. Jones a handoff. Oh, he has some room. Crossing the 30. He'll get to the 40 and out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. A great run by Jones. And this time no penalty flags, as they're going to say about the 43-yard line. So a gain of 16 for Stephen Jones.
Now,
let's look at a replay here. How did he get so open?
Because they tested the edge again. The last time they were successful, they've gone to the edge twice, and they've gained very positive yards both times. Okay? Look at him. He cuts the edge, gets to the outside, and then takes it up, turns his shoulders upfield. And that's what it's about. If you can get outside, take it. And they've done it twice successfully. So that's telling me something about the Rebels' defenses may not be ready for that.
Ioannidis also had a key block on that play. So first and 10 for the 43. They'll go run pass option, and they're going to go deep, but Carden got slowed up on the route, and it ends up going incomplete. They tried to take the deep shot, but it was probably thrown a little bit too early, or Carden kind of stopped in his route, just got himself tangled, or a combination of both. Either way, it's incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10.
He got bumped, and the difference between that throw and a couple of throws that Manny made a couple of weeks ago has to do with the elevation on the ball. All right, the higher you throw the ball, the wider the opportunity for the receiver to adjust, and the margin of error increases significantly. He got that ball up and out exactly the timing and the way it should have been. The receiver got held up.
2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line as Cabasa awaits the snap. And they'll go to Jones. Jones breaks out of a tackle, has some positive yardage to about the 49-yard line. Nice tackle on the play by Teron Smith, who brought him down, but not before a gain of 7. So at least the Sharks have a chance now, 3rd and 3 from the midfield stripe.
Yeah, and listen, they're mixing it up. They're moving the ball.
How'd he get open again? Let's take a look at the replay. When you take a look, it's again that left side, and that's where they had a lot of success.
Outside. Look at the seal blocks, the washdowns, and they got to the edge. I'm telling you, that's 3 out of 3 for positive yards. They've gained over 35 yards on 3 plays on the edge. So they tested the middle. It's not working. 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards is not giving them what they want. 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. Now look what they got. 3rd and 3. Good shape. They can call almost anything right now.
Well, hopefully not a penalty. 3rd and 3 from midfield. They're showing blitz here. Cabasa back. He's going to have to throw, and he threw it in the direction, I think, of Carden. Evans was on the left side. Ends up going incomplete. And I think the Rebels were like, we've had enough. We're bringing the house in a few other sections as well, forcing the incompletion. And now you got 4th and 3, so what do you expect here? Why don't we look at the replay on this? I mean, you knew the Rebels were coming.
Worst possible thing a quarterback can face is a B-gap, right-in-your-face blitz. Number 26 did exactly that. Came straight up, right up to the line of scrimmage, and came hard. Listen, a lot of teams will blitz an A-gap. I like to blitz a backside C-gap, but when you're in a B-gap, you're in the quarterback's face if he's in a drop-back situation. Worst spot for a QB. They hate it, and they will be punting.
And I think that's a smart play. I know it's 4th and 3, but at this point, no score. At this point, you have a little bit of an advantage because now you're playing a game field position. So a game within a game. So not necessarily the worst thing in the world here. Let's see what the punt is. It's a good snap and really no pressure. A helicopter is going to be sent at about the 16-yard line, crossing the 20, and then slowed down at about the 25-yard line.
A little over. About 26-yard line should be the spot, I think. You're right there, Tommy. Good call. And
so number 11 had that one. It was a 34-yard punt. brings it back to the 26, and that's where they're going to spot after a 10-yard return. So the Rebels start again in their own territory, and I'll tell you one thing. Right now, the difference in this game has been the Sharks' defense, keeping the Rebels off the scoreboard. Do you agree, Coach?
I do agree, and another. Hey, don't get crazy now.
It's rare we agree. I can tell you that.
Well, I don't know. The way this is, look, one of my other maxims is football is a game of real estate, okay? And the three principal characteristics of real estate are location, location, location. And because of that, the location on the field dictates what you're going to do offensively and defensively in almost every situation. So they're backed up on their own 25. We're pressing the end of the second quarter coming up pretty shortly. They got a 75-yard run. Let's see what the Sharks respond with this time.
A 4-receiver set, tripling to left yet again. 1st and 10 from the 26 for Legree in the shotgun. Run pass option, and Thompson plows his way to the 30, down to about maybe the 32-yard line. It's at least a 6-yard pickup, and Thompson starting to find some real estate in the middle, and now whistles blow for an official timeout. I don't know exactly. They said there was a 2-minute warning or not, but we don't know.
Well, like I said, we're pressing up against the end of the second quarter. Now, and some of these are not RPOs, Tom. That one particularly was what I would call, that was a straight go, okay? We call it a dive,
yeah.
All right? He was not going to pull that ball under any circumstances. And when you look at the front line push, that gives you all that you need to know in that circumstance. Now, let's take a look at the front line. You got a 3-man defensive front facing 5 blockers, okay? Watch what it is. There's no option intended here. He's going straight up on him on an ISO. That's called ISO, okay? They isolate that guy, and look at that. He got to the second level and picked up about 7 yards, all right? That was a straight power move where they had 5 blockers on 3, okay? Linebackers were nowhere to be seen on that play.
And now, I was going to go further in, but we're at the 2-minute timeout. We'll tell you that Jersey Sharks football is presented by Team NJ Softball. Stay on top of everything that is Team NJ Softball. Join our newsletter to stay informed about all the latest news and updates as Team NJ Softball, and, of course, the tournaments that you'd like to have. You want to check them out more? Visit teamnjsoftball.com. They're out of Rumson, New Jersey. You can call them toll-free for more details, 866-815-8600. Again, 866-815-8600. Or, again, go online to their website, teamnjsoftball.com. As we come back from the 2-minute warning, it is 2nd and about 3. Ball spot at the 33-yard line for the Rebels. Remember, they have all 3 timeouts. The Sharks have 2. And Legree making sure everyone's lined up. He does this all the time, so this is basically part of the job here as a quarterback. Back to his right. Let's see what happens as Legree takes the snap. He's back, not under much pressure. Now he's going to wing left. It's caught, running 35 and being forced out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. Remember, official time's kept on the field, and they're going to say he's spotted at the 38-yard line. So a 5-yard pickup and moves the chains for the Rebels as they have another first down. Now, one thing, Coach, they've been moving the ball, but the Shark defense, they've been standing up to the test so far.
They're bending without breaking. And look at the check down. 6 or 7 out of 10 throws that David's made have been check downs to the receiver because guys are covered downfield and he's getting some pressure. So, they're giving it up begrudgingly. Whatever they're giving up, the Sharks, they're giving it up begrudgingly.
1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Legree awaits a shotgun snap. He'll take another pass. Now he's going to try and run. He will, and he's not going to get too far. He'll get to the 41-yard line. And, of course, as I said, clock is kept on the field, so we'll see when or if the Rebels are going to use their timeouts. They're going to go super up-tempo. This is the hurry-up we talk about. 2nd and 7 from the 41. Legree is back, looking, running left, firing at the middle, and it's a one-hopper incomplete. Double team that time, double coverage that time as I think it was 5 was the intended receiver.
Remember,
and there's also a Rebel shaken up, and that might cost them a timeout.
Well, there's always going to be an injury timeout. But
in the final 2 minutes.
What's happening here, remember what I said to start the show tonight? I said that the ability to disrupt the rhythm of the quarterback is invariably one of the foremost characteristics of a winning team at this level, okay? Okay? So that's exactly what happened. If you notice, David, he threw that off his back foot in desperation at the end because the pressure was coming. He was feeling the pressure, okay? The last run was not a successful one, and he had to get the ball downfield. Even an incomplete stops the clock, obviously, right now because they're running up against the clock right now, okay? So that's what you're seeing here. So what do I feel about that? What do I think about that? I think that the Sharks' defense came very well prepared, all right, and they have disrupted the QB's rhythm. Let's take a look at it while there's a timeout on the field. Okay, so we have good pressure. We have a blitz on the B gap coming at that quarterback straight on now. He sees it, throws off the back foot, all right, and the ball goes low. But look at that. He threw into double coverage because everyone was covered. There's a Shark everywhere. There's more red jerseys out there than black. That tells me a lot about the preparation that the Sharks put into this game for this team.
And they've done a very good job. By the way, Rebels did use their first timeout because of the injury. So while we wait for resumption of play, a quick reminder that Jersey Sharks football is presented by Quality Bath, where you'll find the largest collection of premium brand name bath hardware, kitchen, and lighting. With over 25 years experience in the plumbing industry, Quality Bath has among the industry's most experienced and knowledgeable sales staff. For more details on what they have to offer, you can call them toll-free 800-554-3210. Again, 800-554-3210. Of course, you can always go to qualitybath.com for more details on what they've got. So, following the timeout, each team with 2 left. A big 3rd and 7 for the Rebels at their own 41-yard line. By the way, the shaken up Rebel was Murray Sanders, who went off hobbling during that timeout. So let's see how this all plays out. Even set here. Back to the right of Legree. Here we go on 3rd and 7. He'll take the snap. Legree under a little pressure. He's going to fire up the middle, and the pass is caught. He knew where he was throwing to. Right, and number 4 grabs it. They're going to say the Shark 49. It's a 10-yard pickup and a first down, but the clock continues to tick. So into that hurry-up offense. They're trying to spot the ball at the 49-yard line. And we'll see what Legree does. This time they triple the left side. Back to the right. Now they're going to switch, looks like Thompson to the left. Let's see what he does. Legree back. Looking, has time. Looks, he might run. He fakes. Now he runs and only gets a yard. What a job by the secondary of the Sharks. And now, somebody went shoved down. I mean, it was a little bit of a confusing situation. That was Nate Smith. It looked like I don't know if he stumbled or what have you, but only a 1-yard pickup. And it's 2nd and 9 from the 48. And the Rebels are going to have to kind of hurry up there. Let's see what Legree has here on 2nd and 9. Back to pass in the pocket. Now being chased. And he will go down at the midfield stripe. And that's going to force a timeout on the Rebels' part.
Not going to do much. It's 4th down.
Well, it's going to be 3rd and 11 as Legree tried and tries. Let me outstretch myself. Tremendous sack on the part of Rafael Cartagena. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's a little town in South America.
Well, and then the holidays we sing a little town of Hackensack, but that's beside the point, so I'm sorry. Cartagena with the sack, 2-yard loss, my apologies. So 3rd.
Somebody's get on that box because this is the 2nd 3rd down we've had. They didn't change the box previous play.
Well, anyway, while we have this moment, we remind you that this game is presented by Edison Heating and Cooling, which is able to provide you with seasoned technicians that have been expertly trained to inspect and repair any HVAC system in the Edison area. You want more info? Check out edisonhvac.com. You can also call 732-372-4957 or email info@edisonhvac.com. That again is Edison Heating and Cooling. And trust me, we're basically right in the middle. It's a cool night, 56 degrees at kickoff. And And don't, hey, and we're just letting the heat out so far here now. Coach, with the Rebels now using a timeout on 3rd and 10, what do you see both sides doing, and what do you think the Rebels will call, and how do you think the Sharks will respond?
Well, we don't know what the official clock says because we don't have a score clock tonight. However,
I would have to
if we're
say it's
under
a minute.
how many timeouts do the Rebels have?
One left.
They have one left. Here's what I would do, all right? If he doesn't go for the fences, all right, if he's not swinging for the fences, then what he may do is go in the single backfield, run a draw, call an immediate timeout, put themselves in a position to where they can get the ball downfield. Because right now, if he's going to go up top, I mean, these guys are playing prevent defense. They're 30 yards off the ball. So, it's going to be very difficult for them to cover that up.
Well, let's see what they do. 3rd and 10 from the midfield stripe. Legree will take the snap. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going to sing it. Pass call. Look at this. Moving over to about the 40-yard line, and now running for the sideline, 35, and then finally gets hit out of bounds inside the or they're going to say about the 29-yard line. And I think the first half is over.
Oh, there was a lot less time than we thought.
You got that right.
Beautiful play accomplished, basically the same thing that we were talking about. Attack into the middle of the field, get it upfield. Kid made a nice play. It was almost like a downfield screen, if you will, but they had two receivers in position to pick, but they didn't pick. So that was a very good play. If they had more time, I think they would have probably gone to the end zone.
Yeah, pretty much would not have a choice at that point. But what an entertaining first half it was. I'm not sure what we're going to do for our halftime stuff, but we might as well share our sponsors for Jersey Sharks football, and hey, reach out whenever you can with them. Our halftime score, hey, points are hard to come by, and you can tell by a couple of zeros on both sides of the ledger.
Well,
Sharks and Rebels scoreless after a half a play. We'll come back in a few. In the meantime, enjoy these sponsors of Jersey Sharks football.
Is your indoor air working properly? Edison Heating and Cooling is your neighborhood's trusted professional since 1987. Just give a call and a trained comfort advisor will meet with you, do a full inspection, and discuss your options from repair to upgrading to a new high-efficiency system that could save you up to 61% of your energy bill. Our fully trained technicians install and service all systems, including premier carrier products for both residential and commercial customers. All day, every day, count on Edison Heating and Cooling.
Slip and fall or trip and fall on someone else's property, the first thing you should do is immediately contact an attorney. The site of the incident must be investigated. If there are witnesses, statements need to be taken. We here at Lombardi & Lombardi have a full-time investigator that goes out to the scene of the accident, takes all necessary measurements and photographs, and draws a diagram as to the exact location of your fall. So if you've been involved in a slip and fall or trip and fall on someone else's property, it's important that you contact the law offices of Lombardi & Lombardi immediately, and we'll be happy to give you a free consultation to discuss your claim.
Hi, I'm Eric Gonzalez, founder of Guru Fit Workout Training. Let's take a time out for a workout. Here is an exercise you can do in the house or outside with a bench or chair. It is a low impact, minimum resistance way to get the blood flowing. You can do parts of it or all of the movements depending on your age and abilities. Complete 3 sets of 10, taking a break between each set. For those under a physician's care, please check before attempting any exercises.
Should have listened.
Excuse me?
You should have listened to Grandpa called Edison Heating and Cooling. You know you can always trust Edison to take care of our cooling needs. They would have given us a premier air conditioning system that actually worked. And with their reliable service, I wouldn't be here with my head in the fridge.
Okay, I'll give Edison Heating and Cooling a call.
Did you tell her?
I think she got the message.
From the minute I walked into Lombardi and Lombardi, I knew they were the attorneys for me. I felt like I was walking into my family. I had a feeling that these were the people that were going to take care of me, and they did. From start to finish, the attorneys and staff at Lombardi and Lombardi were always available. They were compassionate. The confidence I had in them allowed me to get better while they took care of everything else. If anyone needs help for an accident, this firm is for you.
Okay, welcome back to J.P. Stevens High School in Edison, New Jersey. You are not seeing any errors with the scoreboard. It is exactly what it is. Nothing between the Jersey Sharks and the New York Rebels in round one of this MLF playoff contest. Now, it will be a Sharks ball to start the second half. We forgot to mention at the very end before we did our halftime sponsors. But anyway, I'm Tom Wilkins along with Coach Nick and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls here. It has been a slugfest of a first half. And the fact that both quarterbacks, Cabasa of the Sharks and Dave Legree of the Rebels, have been held scoreless to this point is a testament as to how both defenses have played. Do you agree with that, Coach?
Well, it's been a real defensive struggle tonight on both sides. And actually, as I said, I'm an offensive guy. I love the offense. I think that what we're going to see here is a much more wide open attack from both offenses, okay? Again, look what's controlling the game. The reason that these defenses are being able to put the pressure on quarterbacks, lay up on the run, and cover deep is because, as I said in the beginning of the game, look at the trench. This game will be won or lost in the trenches.
And this is basically an even-Steven game, of course. You look at the Sharks' defense. They have come through in some big spots. Keep in mind that the Rebels have been inside the Sharks 25 twice, the other time being inside the 10, and both times have been turned away, as you can see. They turned the ball over on downs. Even the Rebels turned the Sharks away on downs during one of the drives in the second quarter.
Yep, I think what's going to really make a factor, long years ago, they asked Hank Aaron, one of the greatest athletes ever to live, they said, Mr. Aaron, what is the difference between a good team or a good player and a great player or a great team? And he said one word, and I think that's going to come into play tonight, and that is discipline. All right? The team that is most disciplined, least amount of mistakes, least amount of losing the momentum will prevail tonight.
And there have only been 3 penalties in this game, keep in mind. So it's been a pretty clean game. Our referee blows his whistle, and we're ready to start the second half, and the Sharks, they'll be the ones receiving, taking it about the 15-yard line, running with a head of steam, crossing the 35 down to the 38-yard line. A good run on the part of Naquan Walker. I mean, he was like running full steam when he caught the ball, and he ends up stumbling, gets touchdown to 38. So in a way, you could say it was like an outfielder was trying to make that catch. And
some guy in the grass stuck his hand up and grabbed his ankle. But
that's all it takes.
If he had broken that one, I think he was looking at least another 25, 30 yards upfield. He had a good head of steam and a good look, and he had a whole host of blockers on the left side. Remember, it's always preferable to return to your bench side, and that's exactly what they did. They executed it very well because that's, you want to be on your side of the field.
And I think that's exactly where they are. And in fact, they got a really good spot, as a matter of fact. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. First time we've seen this. I formation. They're going with a man motion, and they're going to give it to Jones. He's going to run right. And he's going to run across midfield and into plus territory at the 47-yard line. They'll give him the 48. And I think Jones got very excited. He spiked the ball, but no penalty flag coming after that. So ends up being a gain of 11 to the Rebels' 48-yard line. You could tell these Sharks are psyched up.
Hey, listen, I told you the momentum's a swing. But listen, that's the 4th time they attempted the edge and the 4th time they got it. So I expect Coach Lou to mix it up a little bit, come inside, throw the ball a little bit, get Jonesy back out on the outside again, and that's how you control the ball. 4 times on the outside, on the edge, and 4 times successful, large gains.
Well, they got their big fullback in this next play. And you got to consider, too, they went to the right for the first time, and it worked out. So 1st and 10 for the 48-yard line. They send a man in motion, and Cabasa will run it again. And Jones is not going anywhere. In fact, he falls back at the 49 in his own territory and loses 3. He tried the other side, and I tell you, the Rebels, they knew which side they were going. They brought the forces there.
Well, listen, they didn't have to worry about the fullback. They had an extra man up on the line. They could bring the linebackers up close and pursue. That formation would have normally indicated that they were going to try to run inside the tackles, but they tried to get the edge with that, but there were just too many defenders.
All right, so 2nd and we're going to say about 13. Ball's going to be spotted at their own 49-yard line. But I'll tell you, for the Sharks, I think one of the biggest things for them is to just keep the momentum, and they just got to make sure they don't make any mistakes. That's really the biggest thing right now. I mean, they've had 2 penalties. The Rebels have only had 1. And you know the Rebels' defense trying to get themselves psyched up here.
Look at the one-on-one execution on the right side of the field. We got execution. He
but they're
runs
gonna,
up inside.
Oh, and they try and run at the Jones, and he only got a yard and absolutely ran to a stone wall. Number 16, I think it was, who just completely shut the door. Only a yard on the play. It forces a 3rd and 12. And, Nick, I'd like to see a replay of this one. What happened there?
Look at the stack inside. They got 2 linebackers. One's lined up in the A gap. All right, the other one's stacking right here behind the guard, the nose guard. Look what's going on. They got 8, 9 in the box. Boom. It's very difficult to run against that. Even a kid like Jones, he was a big, strong running back. These guys are 250, 300 pounds, and you're running headlong into them while they're filling the gaps. That's very, very difficult.
That's running basically into a stone wall, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Well, that makes it 3rd and 12 right from the midfield stripe. I would have to assume a pass. They're going to go heavy on the right side. In fact, they triple to right. Cabasa in the shotgun.
They don't look like they're coming blitz, and they're not. They're laying back.
Here's a throw up the middle.
And
he threw it to the wrong team. It is intercepted. And it's number 25 for the Rebels, who ends up forcing the first turnover. And I'm thinking that Cabasa was looking for a receiver to run around. Maybe the receiver ran the wrong way, or he just completely missed.
Now, what happened was that they all got doubled up because there were more defensive backs than there were receivers. They knew they had to throw. They were pressed for it. And we can take a look at it right here on the screen, and you're going to see the coverage. Okay, now watch what happens. See how they are? Look how long the linebackers are about 4 yards deep off. Manny's going to drop. We have a crossing pattern here, okay? Look at the coverage. Look at the coverage. See that? In double coverage. Everybody was covered with 2. See that? And that's what caused the turnover. There was no one to throw to.
And Cardin was the intended receiver, and I'm willing to bet the throw came a little bit early into that double coverage, and that resulted in that interception. So I understand the Legends have a 6-0 lead over the Lightning in the second quarter of their playoff game. Just an update we've just received. All right, Legree with his first turn here in the second half. He's back to pass on 1st and 10. He'll wing one a little bit too high, incomplete. Looked like they went toward Thompson. It's just 23, I beg your pardon. But it ends up being an incomplete pass. And once again, Legree quickly getting the ball out as fast as he can. He's only been sacked 1 time, but a lot of it has been because of the different showings that the Sharks defense have had. Let's take a look at this, Nick, and see how that goes. Well,
he's had a few hurries. The guy was wide open. He just missed the ball, okay? Now, I told you they were going to open things up. That is the first offensive series where they've come out and thrown on 1st down, okay? With a good field position on the 40-yard line. That's the first time they've thrown on 1st down. I said they're going to open it up a little bit. Wide receiver was wide open. David has to hit him on that. That's a big gainer.
Well, 2nd and 10 from the 40. They'll go heavy on the right this time as they're going to screen this one. Number 5 grabs at Europe, and he loses yardage down to 37-yard line. A great tackle on the part of Steph Ozigbe, and he ends up losing 3, but a good play. I mean, obviously the play was much more, I tell you what, pronouncing the name was more difficult than the stop. So it makes it 3rd and 13, but Steph makes a great play, and it forces a 3rd and long again for the Rebels. So now if you're David Legree, Coach, what do you see have to look out on the Sharks side of things? Because
look at the Sharks defense. Look at the Sharks defense. They're in a cover 2, unless they're stunting, which they're not. Look at where the linebackers are lined up. They're going to drop off from the run. Look at where they are. They're 4 to 5 off the ball, okay? And they're in a cover 2. And now they're loading up the box, looking for a potential draw. But he's got to go downtown right now. And he's throwing into a cover 2 defense. He's got twins left. and a tight right.
Let's see if you're right. Back goes Legree on 3rd and 13. He's going to go for that shot. Oh, and it's incomplete. A little bit too hot for number 4, who was open and just couldn't bring it in. Otherwise, that would have been a huge gainer. There have been a lot of passes on both sides off the fingertips today. But the Rebels will have the punt, and the Sharks do their job yet again. The turnover doesn't hurt them.
Listen, that was very, very, very lucky. Where were they? They were in a cover 2. Where's the open spot in a cover 2, fellas? Over the middle. They hit the middle. It was a perfect shot in terms of the opportunity and the play. The ball was just a little low and away.
And give credit to Legree. He got that ball out very, very quickly. I mean, he basically has the strength of a professional quarterback's arm. Because, I mean, that goes fast the way he's been throwing. But anyway, the Rebels will punt for the second time. And the punt, is a very low line drive, but it's going to take a Rebel bounce and bounce out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it.
About the 30.
I'd say close to the 30. They're going to give him the 31. So it ends up being a 32-yard punt, so the Rebels get a little bit of a break. But the Sharks in this scoreless game here in the third quarter, and I'll tell you what, before the Sharks, the next drive, let's show you the replay of that pass. Coach, what happened here?
No, like I said, now they've dropped into a prevent where the cover 1. So what's happening here, he's got twins left. His fast, speedy guy, number 4, he makes a break. Now he cuts, digs the post route, is open, and the ball is low and away. David's got to hit that. I don't care how hard you throw the ball, how quickly you get it off. You got to get it right around where they can get their hands on it in motion.
And a matter of synchronicity between the two, making sure the timing is perfect. But for the Sharks, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. It's Cabasa back in the shotgun. Let's see if they try a jet sweep, and they will. And crossing around and being thrown down to 38, and a late flag, possibly for a face mask.
Possibly about it. It's a
face
mask.
Got thrown down at the 38, 39-yard line. If that's a major face mask, that means he'll be in plus territory just like that. A huge, huge break for the Sharks. And also a good call, too, because Siri found the opening. It should be a 15-yard penalty, and we're going to say about the 47-46 of the Rebels. So the officials are discussing, so hang tight 1 second.
There's no such thing as a 5-yard. I don't know what they're discussing. It's a face mask.
Yes, they make it official.
Automatic first of 15 yards, and that's that.
So that makes that an automatic first down and basically a 22-yard net play. And the Rebels are saying, what? I mean, it was almost clear as day it was brought down with the mask. So the Sharks will have it. It will be somewhere around the Rebels' 46-yard line. That is where the ball is going to be spotted. And that's a huge, huge break. Let's see if the Sharks take advantage of it. Only the 4th penalty combined for both teams, and the second on the part of the Rebels. The other one was a neutral zone infraction. Let's see if the Sharks can take advantage of this momentum. Jones to the left of Cabasa. Pro set here, evenly divided. 1st and 10 from the 46. And me and my big mouth. I said it was a clean game, but somebody jumped on that last play. Now, you know, one side's going to be pointing at the other saying he did it.
It's offside against the black team, the Rebels.
Against the Rebels. We'll see what the officials say.
Now they came out.
You're right. You're right. Neutral zone infraction against the Rebels. That's another 5 yards, and all of a sudden. So it was one of those unabated calls. That's why it was blown dead. I mean, normally you'd have a free play, but when you're unabated to the quarterback, automatically you have to stop it for the protection of the quarterback. So now the ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line and a 1st and 5. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried one of those like sweep plays again.
Single back, they're in spread. They're in spread formation. I like to run out of spread. The Jonesy's there. If they don't go for the edge, I think he may go downtown.
Well, let's see what happens.
Oh, he's coming to the edge.
They will go left. Oh, and they were ready for it.
Yeah, they caught him.
I called the wrong play there, and Jones loses 4 back at the 45. Schulters with a huge tackle. That's why he's the veteran defender that he is. He smelled that play out. He's like, no, you're not going to do that again. You've done that 4 times already. What happened, Coach?
All right, watch the linebacker flow now. This play takes a little bit of time to develop, okay? There, and the guy came right up. He never left his zone. He came right up and made the play, which is what he's supposed to do. All right, as soon as that ball was handed off, these 2 blockers were looking around, and this guy was up there going right at the running back.
A light rain is starting to fall here in Edison as it is 2nd and 9 from the 45-yard line. This may change some play calling. Cabasa in the shotgun. He'll play fake. He's going to take a shot, but it was tipped. The ball was tipped incomplete, so it forces a 3rd and 9. And I mean, obviously it was the right play call, but now you got the weather involved a little bit. So, Coach, you have 3rd and 9. You've already had a loss of 4 and an incompletion. So, what do you think would be the best course of action here?
Get 3 receivers down past the first down marker and try to get 2 of them in your window and let it fling. There's not much else that they're going to be able to do. I don't think that this rain or any other than a hard rain is going to affect the ball at all. So now's the time to start getting the ball up in the air. But that's where they're going to have they've had their most success.
They go triple left on 3rd and 9 from the 45 as Cabasa back. He's going to take a shot left side. It is caught. It is Carden. He will get to the 25. No, it's not Carden, rather. And he'll get to about the 10. That's number 9. Anthony, look, I couldn't tell who it was. Looked like it was a Carden, I beg your pardon. I thought it was Miller for a second, but it was number 8. Well, I think we got to take a look at that again because that was a very athletic play.
Now look where the receiver catches the ball, and remember what I said prior to the play, okay? Let's see it. Now watch what happens. Here he is. He's in the slot and trips, okay? Here's the first down marker, all right? Where is he? Where does he stop? Right there. 2 yards past the first down marker in the hook to curl zone. Boom.
And
takes it downfield. That's how you win ball games. You know how the old saying, you don't have to hit a grand slam. You hit a bunch of singles, you score a lot of runs. And they've got a sustained drive now. It's probably going to wear down most of the 3rd quarter. And if they should score, then they go back to playing tough defense like they've been doing all night. That's going to cause the Rebels to start throwing the ball more.
And talk about a huge play. That was a gain of 36. 1st and goal at the 9 as Cabasa will run this, I think, to Jones, and he'll be lucky if he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's probably where they're going to spot it. So 2nd and goal from the 9. But I'll tell you what, that got to be the most exciting play of the day for the Sharks. And timeout call by the Sharks. I think they really want to get this in. That's probably why they're calling this timeout right here. So why don't we take a quick break as we're in the 3rd quarter. Sharks and Rebels no score. For how long, we'll find out. Come back in a moment. Okay, back here at J.P. Stevens High School, the Jersey Sharks looking to finally break the scoreless tie here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and goal from the 9. Cabasa will line things up. They'll go triple on the left. And, of course, Jones will be to the right of Cabasa in the shotgun.
Quick pitch would kill him on the right side right now if they did that.
Well, they're not. Cabasa back, takes a shot, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Syrie. And it looked like it was also held, but it was also possible the ball may have been slightly tipped, and that would have negated it. So why don't we look at the replay as to what happened here, Coach? as soon as we can get this all queued up. What happened here? I mean, keep an eye on Siri. He's in the middle of the 3 receivers. Now, question is he held?
Yes. That's defensive holding right there.
Wow.
And that obliterated any opportunity for him to break open. Even though had he broken open, he was still in double coverage.
So even if it was within 5 yards, that would still be a defensive hold.
Absolutely.
All right, 3rd and goal from the 9. We'll see if Cabasa comes through. Now they go to triple on the right. Back he goes, looking, taking a shot, and it's incomplete. It was a little bit wide. Some people on the bench wanted interference. Again, it was towards Syrie, but the throw was off. So, again, an incompletion, and now it's 4th and goal from the 9. The question is, do you try a 27-yard field goal?
Yeah, I would say we go for the points right
Well,
now.
Zarino's in.
Well, Tommy's a holder, so he's they're kicking.
Well, I would have to suspect so. Well, we'll see what happens here. They have their kicker, who is number 52, Jacob Hetner, and he's going to try what looks to be a 26-yard field goal. Now, it's a little bit shorter than an extra point, and considering we have yet to see points, maybe now will be the first time in this game. Zarino to hold. This is from 26 yards. Let's see if he puts it through. Waiting for the long snap. He gets it. Oh, and he bobbled it! And Hender's going to have to fall on it at the 19-yard line.
That's very rare. Tommy's a very good holder, very sure-handed.
The aura of a scoreless game continues. Oh, Zarino just bobbled the snap, and that botched any chance of a kick. Let's take a look at the replay. Was it the snap or was it the way as Zarino handed that ball? What happened?
No, the snap was just a little too wide. Just a little too wide where Tommy had to reach with his left hand to corral the ball. All right, it's coming back in a full spiral, and not everybody's going to snatch a one-hander like that. Normally, if the ball is on point, Tommy's a very, very sure holder, and I can testify to that over 15 years. So that snap looked to be a little wide left.
Well, unfortunately for the Sharks, they failed to convert on getting points, but let's see if that play is a momentum shifter for the New York Rebels as they are at 1st and 10, right outside their own 20-yard line. Legree back in action here.
Spread formation. Looks like he's getting ready to throw. If he doesn't go up inside, he's going to probably go with a play action.
Well, let's see what happens.
He's straight
back.
pass.
He's looking. Late pressure. They screen.
Dumped it.
And he'll get to about the 24. He's still fighting his way, and he gets to the 27. Some nice yards on that play. Ends up getting a gain of at least 7 on the play. Tackle was made by Charles Faulkner. And let's see if the Rebels, they might go up tempo here and try and change things up because I didn't see them getting into any huddle. So
he's calling all his plays from the field. He's regardless of tempo, he's making the calls based on the defensive alignment and the field position.
Low snap, and they're going to hand it off. And being tripped up at the 26-yard line. Very good tackle by Deshaun Lewis.
33.
So a good job there, as now the Sharks are going to have to play twice as fast. Usually the Rebels, you would suspect, would be up-tempo a lot, but today they decided to do a lot of huddling, and here they're going to huddle on this 3rd and 3 play at the 27-yard line. And I think Legree's talking to his offensive line, say, do your job. And now it looks like the Sharks try and get their fans involved as chants of defense come from the stands here. 3rd and 3 from the 27. Again, Legree in a shotgun. Back to the right. Believe that might be Thompson in there this time. Legree will wait for it. A low snap calls his number. He'll bounce off. 1st down and more, and he'll get to about the 34-yard line. So Legree's like, you know what, I'm going to take this myself. Ends up picking up 7. And, Coach, you think they're trying to exploit the weaknesses of the Shark defense at this point?
Right now, I think they're trying to get anything they can. Their offense does not look like it's ready and it's gelled. I have not seen any adjustments other than they came out throwing on first down to open the series and open the second half their first series. I think they're right now they're guessing, all right. The Sharks are changing up a few things. They're moving guys around, changing up the coverages a little bit. And again, when you disrupt the quarterback's rhythm, I'm not saying he's totally disrupted, but they're giving him stuff to think about, and you don't want to have to think when you're on the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 from the 34. They triple to right this time as Legree is back. Under a rush, rolls right, has GPS his way out. Now he's going to throw a deep ball to the left to somebody in McCutcheon. So it's incomplete. It was intended for number 23 along the left side, but way out of the reach. Considering nobody was open, that was probably the smart thing for Legree to do, and that was throw it away.
You said McCutcheon. I think Caldwell might be closer.
Well,
but we're good.
We're looking directionally. Now, I don't know if there are any discussions of a possible penalty.
I didn't see a flag. Personal foul.
Oh, wow. They called roughing the passer against the Sharks. Wow.
Outside the tackle box? He's way outside the box.
Well, he let go and then probably got hit right after that.
Let's take a look.
Well, they're huddling, so you'll have to check this out real quick and see if that really was the case. There's an official timeout in a moment, so we'll get this in. Now let's watch Legree.
Scramble. Okay, he's outside the tackle box at that point.
Oh, a high shot. Yep,
Yeah.
It was a high shot to the head, and
that's not good.
That was the right call.
Yep.
Huge penalty against the Sharks, and now the Rebels have 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. So I think we're all doing it. Well, Howard obviously.
Give kudos to the replay guy, Howard Gaber.
That's why I say Howard Gaber behind the controls. So 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Legree in the shotgun, as usual. Near offside jump. Now they send to Thompson. No, actually, I don't know if the ball was out, but he tried to bounce out. Maybe gets across midfield, but only for about a gain of 2 maximum.
If that was a jailbreak by the Sharks defense. They just collided. That kid's not. He's a load. He's like a bowling ball.
Well, let's watch how he bounced off the middle here, and that was a near offside, as you saw.
Look at this now. Boom, second level, tries to get there. The line says not happening. Not happening. Now linebacker number 4, who may be more of a roll-up safety than anything.
Nate Smith.
He's all over the field tonight.
Yeah, Nate's had a very nice game. He's really moved himself quite well.
He's making a lot of plays. Silent hero tonight.
Well, 2nd and 8 from the 49 of the Sharks as Legree is in the shotgun, as he usually is.
Looking to throw. Nope, he's going to take his own number.
He is indeed, and he'll get to about the 45. He's able to get 4, so he designs the run. Good tackle on the part of Charles Faulkner, who was in there. So it forces a 3rd and 4. Now, Legree has been mixing things up on this drive, and it's going to be up to the Sharks to try and stop him again. They've done it a lot already through this game, but it only takes one to break the scoreless tie if you think about it.
Well, he's got an ideal situation. He's 3rd and 4 on the opposition's 45-yard line. So now this is a huge play right here. If the Sharks can stop this offensive push, that's a momentum swing right there. So this is a huge play, one of the biggest plays of the game coming up.
You are not kidding in this scoreless defensive slugfest. 3rd and 4 from the 45. Legree is going to call it himself. And I think, is going to be a little short. Depends on the spot of the ball.
His knee, wherever his knee is down, which is going to be about the 37.
Or the 42,
42, rather. I'm sorry, 42. And I think they needed to get to the 41 for
first. Oh, they're going to give him the first down. Wow.
Wow, that's some spot. Wow, okay.
He got the spot there. I thought he was like a little bit short, but he was driving the whole way, and I guess where his knee was down, the ball had broken the play at the line of gain. So
he earned it.
He definitely earned that one. So Legree's like, you know what? I'm going to take this all by myself, and I think the Sharks need to pay a lot more attention to the legs of Legree because we haven't seen too much of it so far, but in this drive, we have seen more of it than any other time in this game. So this is where the playoff players come to play. And let's see what Legree does on 1st and 10. They're at the Sharks' 41-yard line. Let's see how they line up. They got receivers on the left here. Legree back the pass. Looking. And now he's going to throw deep left side, double coverage. And it's off the fingertips again and incomplete. It was for number 4. 23 rather was one also there. But neither could get it. Ends up being incomplete. And I think the Sharks are arguing, hey, wait a minute, one of our defensive linemen were pinned on the snap and they didn't call a hold. But whatever the case, it is still going to be 2nd and 10. So I'll tell you, the Sharks caught a break and Legree wanted a home run, but he ended up hitting a foul by about 10 feet. And it's also possible he may have overthrown it. Now, Coach, you think maybe the receivers possibly ran a couple different routes and Legree wasn't expecting?
No, he had 2 receivers on the same. It was a long developing pattern, so that's ultimately it's going to happen. He had almost 6 seconds to throw. But I think that I wouldn't say desperation, but I think they're getting antsy. He's taking the ball himself. He's trying to get the ball way downfield right now. He's putting a lot of juice on it. And, there's good and bad to that. So only time is going to tell. This series, again, is a very, very important series.
2nd and 10 from the Shark 41-yard line. And I think they had triple on the right, and one of those receivers moved to force a false start.
He was called over by the quarterback, caused that. He called him over. He waved him in, all right, and didn't let him get set before the snap, and that's what happened.
So it ends up being a critical 5-yard penalty against the Rebels and forces a 2nd and 15. And the Sharks realize, they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? So a huge play, 2nd and 15. They're going to spot at the Shark 46-yard line. And a little bit more of a challenge for Legree, but he's been up to so many challenges in his career. He knows, I guess, exactly what to do in situations like this, wouldn't you think?
I would say yes. He's a very experienced quarterback. But again, I said there's a good and bad when you take it all on your shoulders, okay? There's 10 other guys out there, all of whom you're relying on. They're relying on you. So you got to get everybody in the game and never lose confidence in your offense's capability.
They change it up and they go pro set. 2nd and 15 for the 46-yard line. As here is Legree back. He's under a lot of pressure. Eludes one guy. Throws in the middle. Pass is caught to about the 36. A collision. Oh, man. That was a nasty hit down to 36. A gain of 10. The man who led the charge was Bernard Gardner. And talk about seeing stars. I think it was Europe who had the completion. And he took a huge hit. Well, he'll be waking up a little bit disoriented tomorrow morning after that one. But it forces a 3rd, and they're going to say about 6, maybe 5. The ball's spotted right outside the 36-yard line. And Legree trying to get a last-second substitution. Now the official blows his whistle. And I think we're at 3-quarter time. So we have had goose eggs for 45 minutes. Somebody's going to break this omelet. After 3, the Rebels and Sharks, 0-0, with the final quarter of this playoff game coming your way right after this.
Is your indoor air working properly? Edison Heating and Cooling is your neighborhood's trusted professional since 1987. Just give a call and a trained comfort advisor will meet with you, do a full inspection, and discuss your options from repair to upgrading to a new high-efficiency system that could save you up to 61% of your energy bill. Our fully trained technicians install and service all systems, including premier Carrier products for both residential and commercial customers. All day, every day, count on Edison Heating and Cooling.
We're back here at J.P. Stevens High School, about ready to start the final quarter of this defensive slugfest between the Jersey Sharks and the New York Rebels. Your eyes are not haunting you. No score through 45 minutes, and we got 15 more to go. I'm Tom Wilkins, along with Coach Nick, and we could have more beside that. Howard Gaber, of course, taking care of the controls here. What we have right now are the Rebels with a 3rd and I believe 5 from the 36-yard line. Dave Legree, remember the Rebels they got the football after a botched field goal attempt at 26 yards. Zorino could not handle the snap. It was recovered at the 20. The Rebels have had the ball since, and they have gotten to this point, a huge 3rd and 5. They're going to spread things out here as Thompson is to the right of Legree. As usual in the shotgun. Biggest play of the game so far. Had some time to think about, of course, being the end of the quarter. Legree in the shotgun snap. He's about ready. Oh, wait, flags are down. Did he take too long? So, oh, wow, they're going to call a neutral zone infraction possibly against the Sharks. And if that's so, that's going to give the Rebels a free first down. We'll see what the officials say. And if that's so, that is a killer penalty against the Sharks because that came from the far side official, and that's why they're discussing. And I think it was the fact that they were lined up in the neutral zone that might have been the reason for it. And remember, we're dealing with 4 officials, so they're trying to make sure that every call is correct here. Let's take a look at the replay, Coach. And are they in the neutral zone? It's hard to tell here.
My look would be no.
And the flag hasn't been thrown yet. Now, right there.
That he got back. That's not a good flag. I'm sorry. That is just not a good flag.
That happened. It was like nobody was paying attention. Like nonchalantly, the far side official throws the flag.
He had every opportunity to get back, and he did. It happens all the time. I contest that flag.
Well, the officials are still talking. I don't know if they're going to rescind this or not. So while they continue to discuss, remind you that Jersey Sharks football is, well, we might as well go down the list one by one. Now the commissioner's coming down to check this out. But Jersey Sharks football this year has been presented by Edison Township Police and Fire Company, Edison Heating and Cooling, Lombardi and Lombardi Attorneys, Team NJ Softball, and finally, Quality Bath. Of course, the Jersey Sharks. And I was just suggested that with that call, they might call Lombardi and Lombardi to try and figure out the rules of this one. But in any case, the Jersey Sharks thank all the sponsors for this 2021 season. Everyone has been so supportive of this franchise because this is our last home Jersey Sharks broadcast of the season. They are holding up the neutral zone infraction, so a huge break for the Rebels as they will have a first down right now at the Shark 31-yard line. And think about how this drive has been kept alive. You got to remember, there was also that big roughing the passer blow to the head, which kept the drive going. And right now, for the Rebels, they're at the Sharks' 31-yard line with 1st and 10. Clearly, they have the momentum. Let's see how this all plays out. Now they spread again. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Legree looking to make the right call here. Might do a little bit of a silent hard count. And now he's going to do a quick screen down to about the 27-yard line. Number 4 was able to grab it. And I think maybe about 3 or 4 yards, depending on the spot where his knee went down. They're probably going to say about the 27. They actually might give him the 26. And if that's so, they're going to give him a gain of 4, so 2nd and 6 from the 27-yard line. Now, if you're the Sharks defense coach, what do you have to look for here, especially with this being crunch time?
You watch for the inside run. They're going to try to get a quick opener up inside. Got plenty of time left on the clock, and it's only 2nd down. They can waste the down right here, but, I think they're going to try to get positive yards, but I think they're going to try to hit that middle.
And without a kicker, it's also 4-down territory. You have to keep that in mind, too. But, you got to remember the Rebels all the touchdowns they've scored, they have not tried a point after conversion. It's been always 2 points after conversion from the 2-yard line. So let's see what they do here. This time they triple the far side. 2nd and 6 from the 27-yard line. Legree with Thompson to his left. He'll take the snap.
Nope,
has
he's
time.
going for
he
it.
throws it, and right at the sticks at the 19-yard line, pass is caught. I think it was Battle who grabbed that. And they'll say about the 20-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. And the Rebels are in the red zone for the first time in quite some time. So clearly, the pace of what the Rebels are doing to the Sharks are keeping the Sharks on their heels, and slowly but surely they're driving down the field. Now let's see what they come up with here. In the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Thompson to the right of Legree, they spread it. Legree's like, okay, I take my time, and he's just going to use a little bit of clock here. And now he'll step forward, and he ends up throwing what I think is a backward pass.
That would be.
Or no, they're going to say incomplete.
Oh, goodness.
So why don't we take a look, because
what
Legree actually took a step forward and then fired to the right. Why don't we take a look at this real quick? What did you see on this one, Coach? Now you'll notice, of course, Legree, he did this one other play in this drive. He stepped forward and then fired.
That's a backward
Oh,
pass.
man.
Bad call. 2 bad calls in a row.
Wow.
Sorry. But not. Yep. That's what happens.
Another, it ends up being an incompletion, so it's 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Let's see what Legree does in the shotgun.
Look for him to
This
run.
might be a run. Thompson to his right.
He's running.
He calls his number, crashes into a player, but he gets to about the 16. They might give him the 15. I think, yeah, and they're going to give him a gain of 4. James Bethea with the tackle, but it's 3rd and 6 from the 16-yard line. And right now, Coach, the Shark defense has to dig in.
They have to dig in. Again, you got to watch the body language on this quarterback, because he's really controlling the offense, and he's calling the plays. So it was pretty obvious he was going to go with his own number that time. This time, I think he's going to throw the ball. I think they want to get into the end zone real bad.
Well, we'll soon find out what happens here.
And it could be the last opportunity if the way the game seesaws the way it's been going.
Well, there hasn't been any score yet. Might be breaking my own record from like 14 years ago. But anyway, 3rd and 6. The ball's right outside the 16-yard line. They will triple the left side. Let's see what happens. Oh, takes a snap. He's going to throw right, and it is incomplete. I don't see a flag.
None. And
I for some reason, it looked like somebody jumped, but the officials didn't rule it. It ends up being incomplete. I think Battle was the intended receiver, but now 4th and 6 from the 16.
You saw me pointing to the far side. Look at the one-on-one. This is what they've been waiting for all night. Watch this fella right here. The jump didn't really do much. He got back, but they didn't call it. So this guy drifts to the middle of the field, creates the one-on-one in the end zone, which is what Dave wanted, okay? But he couldn't put it in there. It's a very tight spot.
And Gallimore with a huge play and a lucky play, too, because he never saw the football, and somehow he was able to shield him off. But right now for the Rebels, you're looking at a play right now. Keep in mind, it's still no score.
They're going to be trying to throw over the middle. I would be looking at that.
And now a flag
defense.
is down. They may have taken too much time.
What is this?
Or is that a sideline warning? Oh, okay, so they call. Oh, the Rebels got hit with a sideline warning, so no penalty officially. And now all of a sudden, a couple of the coaches have come wandering onto the field saying, what's going on here?
They're begging for a 15-yard penalty. And now Legree's got his helmet off and there's no timeout. That means he's got to come off the field. That's a penalty right there.
Wow.
You can't take your helmet off on the field. That's 15.
And And the Sharks are protesting
They
that
should
call
be.
as well.
That's a 15-yard penalty. You do not take your helmet off on the field. If you do, you come off for one play, and that's at every level from Pee Wee level to the NFL.
Wow. So while the officials discuss.
Well, they're obviously letting it all go, so they want to play ball.
All right, well, let's see
go.
how this all plays out.
The last thing we need is a sideline nonsense at a game like this.
Amazing. 4th and 6 from the 16-yard line.
Look at that middle, and don't think Legree's not seeing it.
Well, he's trying to make sure he's got everybody lined up correctly.
Yeah, he's tightening them up. He says they're coming in a B gap in his face. They feinted the blitz. He's trying to go over the middle. Look at his guy.
He's still going. He might run this. He waits. He fires. It is caught to the 10, to the 5, and that's where he goes. And makes it 1st and goal. I mean, we almost had like a frozen motion for a second. Amazing time that Legree had to throw that football.
Way too much time. But you saw where his look was. The receiver was number 5, right in the post area, in between the goal post, and but he was covered. The Sharks got in there, played real good defense on that, and they were very lucky to get that play off, much less to complete it.
That's really amazing skill on the part of Legree. When you have all the time in the world, somebody eventually is going to get open, and he was able to get there right in the nick of time. So 1st and goal as the ball is spotted right at the 5-yard line. It's definitely go time for both teams here. Deepest position today for either side.
Here he goes.
And Legree's calling his number. And he will scramble his way, and I think he's a little short, might be the 1. Yeah, it looks like they did spot him a little bit short. Probably maybe the 1, maybe the 1/2.
He's on a 1 foot line.
Wow, he is that close. So now the question is, I mean,
I call a timeout. You give the defense a chance to regroup. You just get in there, get under center, put your head down, and get in the end zone.
Now, if I'm on the defense, I mean, you've already used a timeout earlier in the half.
No, I'd keep what's left because they have to sustain a drive. They don't know if they're going to score here. Get in there, chop up that middle like they did in the beginning of the game. They got their horses up in there right now, and it seems pretty obvious where they're going to go.
Well, he might go up the middle, but we could see another Dak Prescott from last week. Legree takes it, and he will storm his way into the end zone. And I'll tell you what, that is a legendary drive on the part of David Legree. Got a couple breaks along the way, but took advantage of those opportunities. And finally, the omelet cracks, and the Rebels finally get the first points of this game here in the 4th quarter. Mm-hmm. And that's normally what Legree does. When you're close, he says, you know what, I'm going to take it in myself, and I trust my offensive line to make the room for me. That's exactly what happened.
Well, opportunism is a fact of life in everything that we do, whether it's football, academics, business. You have to be opportunistic, okay? And they did. What contributed to this was, listen, I don't mince words, 2 terrible calls, okay, that advanced the ball for the Rebels, and those were gifts. So that's a little disheartening. But let's see what they can do here. If they don't get in here, let's remember that Sharks got a whole rest of the quarter to get down here and get some points.
And 2 timeouts. All right, the conversion, which is what the Rebels do. They don't have a kicker, so that's why they go for the conversion. Legree back, he fires, and it's incomplete. So how about this? They miss the conversion, and now the Sharks can drive down and can tie it with a touchdown without the conversion. So it's not over yet.
Ball was right there. Surprised he didn't catch it.
So let's see how the Sharks respond. This is basically the biggest test of will. You've had a few, and while we take a look at that touchdown again for Legree, a 1-yard touchdown run, the only points of this game so far. What opened up here, Coach?
Very predictable. He just said, I'm putting my head down and I'm going. Look, he's 6'3", probably 2 1/4. He just said, here it is. There's the opening. I got a foot to go. I'm going. He's not risking a handoff. He's not risking a throw. And we know that he's taken the game into his own hands, okay, which it can be very good or it can be very bad. You got to get everybody involved. But there was a lot of help on that drive, and they were fortunate. He got right in there and did what he had to do. So.
Now, I think the biggest question is, you're going to have things go against you, but now the resiliency is going to be massively tested. Now, of course, we don't know how much time is left on because the officials, they're the ones that know how much time is left. But I'm sure the Sharks have plenty of time to drive, and they have 2 timeouts to work with. So
Field
this is the
position right here is going to be real big, Tom. This kickoff is going to be very in the capital account. Let's put it that way. They got to get some real serious positive yards on this kick return.
I think if they can get inside the 30, if they're anywhere from the 30 on up, they'll be in pretty decent shape. But they don't want to find themselves making mistakes on special teams, whether it be an illegal block when it comes to the return. But we will see how it all plays out. The Rebels, of course, now with a 6-0 lead. Oh, there's no T. So, all right, now they had to get one. I'm sorry. So they wanted to make sure they had to get that all set up. That's why we had the minor delay. So we'll see how everything plays out. And for Cabasa, remember, he's also a veteran quarterback. He's been in big spots before. Let's see how he handles this situation. Rebels lining things up. And now comes away with a short kickoff. It's a live ball after 10 yards, keep in mind. Picked up at the 17. He'll get to about the 30. And Cyrier will get to about the 32 before being thrown backward and twisted like a pretzel.
Good field
so
position.
It's not bad.
Get a drive going. Let's see what they're going to come out with.
Now you got 68 yards to work with. And all you need to do is basically get in the end zone and let your kicker give you the lead. But he has to do it on an extra point and not a field goal, because field goal's not going to cut it right now.
Well, that all they need to do is that's a pretty loaded statement, Thomas. That's going to be a tough road. Now let's see how the Rebels respond defensively. All right, they seem to be doing a lot of jawing, a lot of aggravation here, and why the referee's sitting here talking to both of these teams right now is really a question in my mind. What is going on out there?
Well, here's something else to consider, Coach. We have not heard from Edward Evans all game long. You think maybe this drive he finally breaks out?
Let's hope so.
We've heard from Carden quite a bit today. But the Rebels, they have taken away Edward Evans a lot. But maybe this is where he finally breaks out. We'll find out. But let's find out on 1st and 10. Also in the game is a receiver, Nasir Clark. He's in with this big drive, and they're going to a bunch of triple on the right side. Cabasa in the shotgun. They send Carden in motion. Play fake, a big rush, and incomplete. A huge rush by the defense that time of the Rebels, and forced an immediate incompletion because there was nobody open, and Cabasa was running for his life.
Actually, it was a screen pass, a design screen. The line let the defenders come in, put the pressure on Manny so he could dump it. There was 3 blockers out there behind the line of scrimmage, and the receiver was number 16. That was a legitimate screen pass. They just didn't get it off in time.
Now, if Cyrier catches it, does he run a long way?
Yeah.
That's the other question.
Wide open spaces.
2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line. Cabasa again to shotgun. They spread. Jones to the right. Cabasa waits as the play clock winds down. He'll take the snap. Looking, firing left, pass caught, and there's somebody right there for only a 3-yard pickup. And speaking of Evans, his first catch ends up picking up 3, but it's 3rd and 7. And better than an incompletion at this point, except the clock, I'm sure, is running. So unless it was incomplete, they ruled it incomplete. How about that? I thought Evans caught the ball, but I guess the defender knocked it away and we didn't see it. So that'll make it 3rd and 10. And the only thing for the Sharks, it stops the clock, and clearly the Rebels have the momentum here. Now the Sharks need to get some of that back, and this is going to be basically the play of their season here. They spread. Cabasa in the shotgun. Jones to the right. Cabasa takes it. He's back under a rush. He fires. It's intercepted. The receiver fell, and it's going to be a pick six. And they're acting as high-stepping like Deion Sanders is number 11, and he takes it to the house and all other apartments nearby, and a celebration penalty will follow. I mean, it's raining flags, too. Obviously, more than excessive celebration. It's not going to get you a $10,000 fine like CeeDee Lamb, but it will get you a 15-yard penalty. So we're going to take a look at what happened. I think the receiver fell, and that forced the pick six. But the touchdown will be good, and it is unsportsmanlike against the Venom, and against the Rebels. So it ends up being, I mean, I don't know what's been happening here, but after a scoreless 48, 49 minutes, and then all of a sudden, 2 touchdowns in less than a minute, the Rebels have absolutely taken over this game. And like I said, it takes one big play, and that has been the Rebels' history. One big play makes all the difference in keeping the momentum the rest of the game. It's almost like they were relaxing a little bit, and then they finally turned up the volume in the fourth quarter. Do you foresee that as a possible observation?
Opportunistic. When you have captured momentum, I don't care how you get those yards. When you get down there and you start getting jumpy, if you notice their defensive line, how pumped they were on the first play from scrimmage, okay? And they were really excited about getting to play some defense. And they took the opportunity and, boom.
And that was a huge, huge play. And we'll show the replay after the conversion as to what happened. But I really believe the receiver on the far side fell down, and 11 picked it off, and away he went. So they'll do the conversion. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So they ran off a player for the conversion. As for Legree, he is hoping to make this a 14-0 game. Let's see what happens. And now whistles continue to blow. A timeout by the Sharks, just to add more injury to insult. I mean, that they end up now having one timeout left. They have to use a timeout on special teams. So let's take a moment to take a look at that replay and that big pick six by number 11. Coach, what happened here?
Okay, so they're in spread, man. He's looking to get the ball downtown. Let's see where he's coming. He's throwing to his comfortable side, drops in, drops back. The receiver, it had nothing to do with him falling. That guy, he jumped the play and made it. The receiver fell after the guy passed him. He had already had the ball in his sights and in his hands when the receiver fell down. So we can't blame that.
So he basically jumped the route. So it was a Trayvon Diggs start and a Deion Sanders finish.
He jumped the route. Do you like the Cowboys?
What do you think, brother? At least we're off tomorrow.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, well, my encyclopedia
Cowboys,
references
that means
here.
You got to talk brotherhood in the Cowboys.
Anyway, the conversion coming up, and now what are they talking about here? More discussions, late dinner
refs
plans.
Like the sound of their own voices over here. I don't know what they're doing. They're checking the box. They're reading their script. I don't know what they're doing out there. Well, it's tough as heck to ref a game with 4 guys. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that is true, especially a playoff game.
Should never happen.
Let's not forget. A couple of weeks ago, there were only 3 officials for the game against Brooklyn and the Seminoles, and I mean they handled it the best way they could. But when you're in a playoff situation, I mean you have 4 officials. I mean they're doing the best job they can, but sometimes it just gets overwhelming, especially when when the pressure suddenly mounts.
Playoff game. You got your best teams. You want your best refs. You want everything to be right. And yes, I remember that day. I didn't get home till Wednesday the next week.
Probably as a pedestrian, I don't know. All right, now they'll try the conversion after this long delay. Let's see what Legree does. He's going to call it himself, and he dives, and he didn't get in. Conversion no good. So for the Rebels, they have failed on both of their conversions, and their lead is 12-0. Now, again, official time is kept on the field, But this, I'll tell you, that can the last 5 minutes have just been a nightmare for the Sharks. Not only that, considering they give up the pick 6, but having to use a timeout on special teams. They are basically, their season's up against the wall right now.
Pretty much one and done in this league, right? In all leagues.
Well, you had to figure that because, I mean, otherwise you'd be playing football into, like, the next year, and then you have seasons that go along for, like, I don't think I've ever seen a football game like a best of 7, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
You know what? I'm going to have to talk to you after the game, Tommy, right?
Yeah. Well, it goes without saying. Now, remember... So while they're laughing it up, remember there was an unsportsmanlike conduct. So because of that, the Rebels are going to be kicking off in their own 20-yard line. And so hopefully for the Sharks, they will have pretty good field position. And I think at this point they have to be in plus territory in order to have a shot. And they have to do things very, very quickly. There isn't a second to waste at this point in time.
No, well, you know, it's like Vince Lombardi said. We didn't lose. We just ran out of time. So let's see what they bring.
Well, of course, we're going through all these like wonderful line misnomers here as we await the kickoff. But in any case, for those of you who just joined us, this fourth quarter has been very interesting. It's been all New York Rebels. They lead 12-0 thanks to 2 touchdowns in less than a minute pretty much. A David Legree 1-yard touchdown run and a number 11 and a pick 6 interception. Both conversions have failed. So here we are with a kickoff from the 20-yard line following the unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Let's see what plays out here as the Sharks will try this again. It's not over, but very difficult situation for the Sharks. It'll be returned at the 35-yard line, and an undercut tackle, returning that one to Quan Walker at the 45-yard line. So they need 55 yards, and they need to score very quickly. And they have to do it twice. So basically, a touchdown, if they can get the conversion, they got to get the onside kick too. Crazier things have happened in football on all levels, so you just don't know, Coach, but they have to go quickly, and I think the running game's going to be abandoned, wouldn't you think?
Well, listen, you know, they're going to score. Nobody wants to get blanked in their home field, especially in the playoffs, so they're going to make every attempt to get the ball downfield and score. You're going to see the Rebels are going to start to play a little more prevent with the one high. You know, they're not going to load up the box for the run because the run's not really going to work here. So they're going to have to preserve the clock because every incomplete pass will stop the clock. But they got to get the ball up in the air and downfield, and he's got to be on point. So he's empty backfield right now.
Yep, empty gun it is. Heavy on the right. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line for Cabasa. They send Serie in motion. Cabasa under a rush. He's in trouble. He's going to have to throw, and he does, and it ends up going incomplete. He was sending it toward Jones, but he was in double coverage as well. He was lucky to get that incomplete and makes it 2nd and 10. Just a lot of pressure now coming from that line, and as you said, something in the trenches, and one thing for sure, passing the ball deep has not been a strength for them today, and we haven't seen much of it either.
They went downtown one time. The receiver was held up. The ball was placed perfectly, and had the receiver not been held up, that probably would have been 6. But if you notice something that the defense didn't do on this last play, they didn't buy the jet sweep. Why? Because they know they're not going to run the ball here with this kind of time left in the fourth quarter, which means the linebacker on that right side, as well as the defensive lineman from the left side, both were in pursuit of Manny because he didn't buy the jet sweep fake.
All right, 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. This time they go 3 receivers on the right. Cabasa throws, and it's caught, but the containment is there. A spin move by Serie who keeps going. He gets to about midfield, but that's it. They're going to give him the 49 of the Rebels, gain of 6, but they're going to have to hurry up because the clock is ticking. 3rd and 4, and remember, only one timeout, so they don't have any time to waste. So I don't understand why they're going back in the huddle here. So this could be a very lengthy fourth quarter. I mean, it already has been, but there's still some football to play, and you just don't know what will happen. Let's see how they line up. They got Syria going on the left. Jones is going to be to the right of Cabasa. They're going to go heavy on the left side. 3rd and 4 from the Rebel 49. Going back, looking under a rush. Ducks under one guy. He's going to go with a home run ball in double coverage, and it is knocked down incomplete. And I didn't know if I saw anything else go down, but that looked like a very underthrown pass.
I don't know why the defender knocked it down. Had he picked the ball, which he had every opportunity to do, he could have skipped to my darling down the field, and they would have been in possession of the ball and probably controlled it the rest of the game. Well, that made no sense to me.
And, I mean, I don't know if he just didn't have a good grab of it, or it's hard to tell.
He took the ball and threw it down. He had the catch.
And maybe he was thinking it was 4th down. That's very possible because that's a 30-yard situation.
Awareness. You got to be aware on this field. This is a playoff game. Awareness.
And this could be the Sharks' last chance. 4th and 4 from the 49. Clearly an offside.
It's going to be 1st and 10 is what it's going to be.
Yeah, and unless somebody jumped along the left side, which I don't think was the case.
It's offsides.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an encroachment foul against the Rebels. So that's a big first down, and the Sharks stay alive. They'll have the ball at the Rebel 44-yard line. I know the Rebels want to close this out, but I think they're getting a little too hungry, and they need to stay disciplined. Like both teams need to stay disciplined at this point in time because your season's on the line. You don't play next week if you don't succeed here. And right now that's why the Rebels have a 2-score lead. They've made 2 huge plays, and that's been the difference in this game. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Ball spot at the 44 of the Rebels. And we're still waiting for the whistle here. Now we're set. Cabasa in the shotgun. They spread out here. Jones to the right. Cabasa away for the snap. Here they come. A throw, and they went in the direction of Nasir Clark, and it ends up going incomplete. It was a good idea, and he threw into double coverage, but Clark just couldn't get his hands on it. Too hot or receiver's opposition, or both?
Ball was just a little off, just a little behind him. It's tough when you're trying to thread a needle out there, too, because these guys have been in a lot of double coverage downfield. The area of the field was the right place to throw. Especially when you're looking to preserve the clock. You probably want to get the ball and get them out of bounds. But, again, if you want to score, look at the defense. They've dropped back into a cover 2, okay? Linebackers are 4 yards off. Linebackers are about 4 yards off, and they've got a wide-open cover 2 with 5 receivers. This empty backfield. He's got to go downtown and preferably the middle of the field. Nope.
Oh, and they end up throwing incomplete. They try and get into the direction of Andre White. There were 2 receivers there, and Cabasa threw right in between them. So it kind of tells you the pressure's getting to Cabasa. It's pretty obvious. And now you only have 2 more shots to get 10 yards and keep this drive alive and in essence, keep your season alive. So, I mean, they absolutely have to score. I mean, no exceptions to the rule here. So, do you expect more pressure from the Rebels here?
I expect them to do just what they've been doing this fourth quarter. They get in where they can. They've held back on the blitz. They're just bringing a good forward rush. They got plenty of coverage back there. Linebackers are in drop. Look at them. They're playing 8 yards off. Okay?
Well, they're going to spread it. So 3rd down. They come with the pressure. Pass is going to be, ends up being incomplete. He never had control of it. Never had control of it. Pass incomplete, and Carden was the intended guy. Looked like he had it and just slipped through unless he just tried to run before making sure he had the ball secured. It ends up being 4th and 10, and now you're looking at probably like last shot here for the Sharks. And you got to give credit to the Rebels defense. They've been really confusing the Sharks with a lot of different packages today. And given the fact that the pressure has been so big, especially in the second half, they're very aware they can wear down any team with the way that they play, and they can certainly confuse a lot of teams as well. So let's see how things go. Last second instructions for Cabasa on this play, which are going to do 4 receivers. They're going to triple to right. Jones to the left of Cabasa, 4th and 10. They need 10 to keep this going. He takes a snap. He's going to take a shot, and it's knocked down incomplete. They again went in the direction of Nasir Clark, and it was knocked away. And the Rebels will take over on downs, and that might be the Sharks' season right there. But you got to tip your cap to the Rebels because they've been making the plays where the Sharks have not.
No, that's true. There are a couple of miscues that the Sharks had tonight here on throwing the ball. But he threw to the right spot in the field. That's where they had to go. That's where the most opportunity was going to be. Just didn't make the connection. That's football.
Well, that's the first time we've heard that today. You knew that was going to be something to that extent. But as for the Rebels, they look to make it to the second round of the playoffs next week. And keep in mind, this is a New York Rebel team who last year were surprised by the East Penn Raiders. So they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and looking to find a way to advance into the MLF final in just a few weeks' time. And the funny thing is, the final's actually being held on a Sunday this year. It's in 2 weeks, I believe. That would be November 7th. Wow, that's going to be a lot of fun. I believe we will, courtesy of the HSG Network. But, of course, just check around the pages and stuff like that. And remember, you can subscribe to HSG Network, so let's not forget about that. The YouTube channel on HSG Network, subscribe to that. We'll let you know what is going on. All right, first down, they're going to give it to, I believe, Thompson. And no, I'm sorry. It was 28 that time. He was able to get to about the 48-yard line for a gain of 4. Now comes the grueling task of winding the clock down.
Yeah, they're just going to grind it out. They just showed you that just right there.
And don't forget, too, those of you who follow us on the HSG Network, we will be in Hillsborough next Friday night. And a pretty good game, I understand. Hillsborough, the undefeated Raiders, 8-0, will be taking on North Brunswick. And Hillsborough is out the 14th in the state after their win. I haven't checked NJ.com, but I guarantee in the top 20 in the state for sure. 8-0. They play North Brunswick next Friday. Kickoff at 7 on HSG Network. Another reason to subscribe. And Coach and I will definitely be there for that one.
Yes, we will.
That will definitely be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. I just better not have any traffic issues. 2nd and 6 from the 48. Oh, they're going to throw the ball. And the pass is caught. That's going to be a first down. And number 32 was the one who grabbed it, moves the chains, but more importantly, melts the clock down.
Yeah, they want to put a punctuation mark on this one, I think.
I'd be more concerned just run the clock out. I mean, you're up 2 scores.
Yeah.
And here's an interesting note. If this score holds, the Rebels will be playing the Brooklyn Seminoles in the semifinal. Now, this is as long as the Legends win their game. So that will be an interesting battle in New York, and those two teams know each other so well, and obviously that will be a fun matchup. So for the Rebels, a 1st and 10 at the Shark 42-yard line. Let's see what happens with this as they're going to hand it off. Legree went down. Legree went down on the handoff, and his whole, oh, goodness gracious. Unless he stepped on his foot, and we're going to.
Yeah, he did. It got stepped on.
Wow, we're going to a very interesting development here.
He did not roll an ankle, so he just got stepped on, and that kind of hurts a little
bit.
Yeah,
let's keep our eye on Legree here. Let's see what happened.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, the running back stepped on the foot of Legree. For a second, it looked like I thought he was going to hold his knee, and everyone had to hold their breath.
Yeah, there's an old saying amongst coaches: difference between hurt and an injury. He got all hurt. He didn't get injured, thankfully.
Wow, I mean, that would have been devastating for the Rebels.
Sure.
But it was only a little bit of a pinch, so Legree stays in after a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 from the 41-yard line, this time not stepping on his own foot. He fires this one, and it's incomplete. 32, the intended receiver, and I'm a little bit baffled by that call. You want to melt the clock.
Yeah, I think they want to, like I said, they want to put a big punctuation mark on this.
It's like, would you rather play next week or deal with an ego trip? I mean, but the bomb, I mean, you got to remember, too, I mean, obviously there's going to be more business to take care of next week. Survive and advance is what it's all about at this point. So for the moment, the Sharks are still a little bit alive, but it's 3rd and 8 from the 41, so they're going to need to make a big stop here because we don't know how much time is left, but I don't think it's very much. And we'll see how the Rebels line up. Probably got an extra guy on the offensive line. Legree might call this himself. We'll see. And he does. Rolls to his right, crosses the 40, breaks a tackle. He's going to get a first down, slide inside to 30. And I think the ball came out after the whistle blew. So he gets inside to 30, another first down. He needed 8, he got 11. And the Rebels are feeling it right now. They're feeling that next week is coming to them. And I think they just blew the whistle. It is, the 2-minute warning at the 29-yard line. So the Sharks only have one timeout. And needless to say, they did have their chances. But the difference right now, Coach, the Rebels stepped up when they absolutely had to.
Veteran team.
And that's what it always is. The Rebels have always been a veteran team, and they've always found a way. They found a way 2 years ago in the rainstorm. But considering watching a Major League Football in your first year watching Major League Football, what's been your impression so far?
Well, it's not my first year watching it. It's my first year announcing on the air. The leagues all go through changes, and teams get disrupted. Some don't make it. Others, people run from one team to the next. This is minor league football, and what we do have though is a consistent level of decent, good football, and that's what I'm going to say.
Thompson this time goes up the middle. He'll get to about the 26-yard line. I mean, obviously we're not singling out any organizations, but have you seen a difference in the quality of play compared to others?
Other leagues?
Yeah, you could say that.
Most of them are about on par. There's a very big difference in playing. Like we played mostly in the spring, and there's teams that play in the summer. There's leagues that play in the fall, and you have a lot of overlap. But, different things happen. Now, you have a shortage of referees for a couple of weeks here. It's very tough to get referees during the season when there's high school and college playing, because some of these guys are all NJSIA approved, so they got high school games, minor league, midget games, and it is a lot. It's harder to get fields and referees. Fortunately, we've got an organization here with the Sharks that have gotten a great field every week and put out a good product. So the league's put out a good product for a lot of years, and I had a lot of fun with it this year.
And give it a lot of credit, of course, so with this league's lasted as long as it has, as Thompson will get the second down carry and he'll dive his way to about the 25. Major League Football has definitely set a good standard and a lot of quality play. Well, we've seen, of course, with a lot of teams, especially up north, and, of course, some teams who aren't here anymore, and then you get the ones that are passing the torch now, the Seminoles, the New York Rebels. I mean, you get so many of those teams, and those who are getting very close. I mean, teams like the Jersey Sharks, who've been here for now a few years, have been a quality team, but they just haven't been able to take that next step. I mean, I don't know, a lot of it has to do with just the way the teams played or how things are structured. But when you look at the whole body of work, I mean, this league definitely has some pretty good excitement, especially when you got the higher quality teams involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think the Sharks are going to use their last time out, so they're just standing around, and that's it. The game is over And the New York Rebels, thanks to an impressive fourth quarter, led by Dave Legree and some huge defense, they shut out the Jersey Sharks and end their season by a final score of 12-0 here in Edison, New Jersey. Your final thoughts, Coach?
Well, like I said, it was going to be a defensive struggle. That's what happened. And I said they were going to open it up come in the second half. That's what happened. One team got the advantage. There were a couple of questionable calls by referees. But again, that's football. So at the end of the day, I was very happy to be involved with this year. Wish Dex and the league all the best in whatever their choices are. But as we say at this level, I'll see you at the 50.
And that's a good one. I never heard that before. But, of course, we'll be back for the championship game on November 7th here on HSG Network. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But that'll do it here from Edison and J.P. Stevens High School. For Coach Nick and Howard Gaber, I'm Tom Wilkins. Once again, giving you the final score. The New York Rebels 12, the Jersey Sharks nothing. This has been a presentation of Jersey Sharks football in conjunction